Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a massive moment for me, and I have been on this quest for meaning and fulfillment and success. And I have been on this journey, I'd say, for about 6 years, ever since I kind of woke up to what this life is and what it can be and what it is not. And I have paid thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to coaches, to mentors, to hypnotists, to gurus, to teachers, to mentors, all sorts of different events um, to try to find the answers. And this is not me claiming that I have now found the answers. However, I am on the right track and I am getting somewhere here. Now, the reason this is so important to me and why this moment is so special is this is the best I have ever been able to articulate what actually is the path to live a joyful, a meaningful, and a successful life. And I've always had this itch to get to that point and then be able to explain it to people. And I've already learned the lesson. You don't actually get there, you just walk the path. And so you don't have to all of a sudden be a joyous person. You have to be on the path of a joyous person. And there's times when I'm very joyful and times where I'm very not. And that's just because sometimes I fall off the path. However, I do understand what the path is because I do experience joy. So I can show that to people. I can teach that to people. And this path has changed my life in every possible way. And what I'm going to present to you today is going to change everything for you. Not in the sense of new information, but it's going to lay out the path and show you the different influences and give you the awareness and understanding behind what's actually going on in this reality and how it is that you will get what you want out of this life. So, with no further ado, thank you for being here. I honor you for being here. Now, this next step is not just being here or listening to this in the background. The next step is to actually listen and understand. And so, thank you for being here. But your job has only begun. And the next step is to sit with this, be present, and actually understand what it is that I'm saying. So, let me go ahead and share my screen and we will begin. So I am calling this the narrow path, right? Now, Jesus talks about this. The pathway to heaven is narrow. Now, this is in no way, shape, or form a religious talk. I do not identify with any religion, although God is real and I have a personal, direct connection to God. And so do you. And so I will be referencing God a lot in this training because nothing can really exist that's good without God. So I will be referencing God, although I'm not coming from a Christian standpoint. I'm not coming from an Islamic standpoint. I'm not coming from a Jewish or any religious standpoint. I'm coming from the fact that I believe you can have a direct relationship with God. However, whatever belief system you choose to engage in a relationship with the divine, that is ultimately up to you. And whatever works for you, works for you. And I honor that. So, number one, what will you get from this? First, I'm going to give you 14 keys that will give you a greater understanding to navigate your life. I will show you and help you understand the influences that are working against you in your life, and I will help you understand the influences working with you. I will show you a true blueprint for how to analyze the quality of your life. And I will help you learn what your main thing is. Now, the subtitle of this training is The Main Thing. Not necessarily your purpose, although similar, but the main thing of your life. And obviously, the main title is The Narrow Path because this isn't an easy path to walk. Although I have the understanding and awareness of this path, I do not always follow it. It is hard. It is the hardest path on planet Earth, in fact. So if I accomplish these five things, I hope that has piqued your interest enough to stay with me through this entire training. Give me 100% of your attention. Please don't listen to this in the background while you're at the gym or anything like that. Please, if that is the case, just pause it. And I promise you, you will not get the same results as the people who just take the, 1 to 2 hours, however long this training ends up being, and is present. That is my one ask. So please have a choice moment. If you are not able to be present, please do not continue and pause this training right now and wait until you can be undivided, have your undivided attention for this training. So the first definition, anytime we engage in a conversation, we must have definitions so that we can engage in the same language. So I will be using the word key. I said I'll give you 14 keys. When I say key, I just mean it's something that allows you greater understanding to navigate your life. It's not the answer. It is not, a golden solution for you. However, it allows you greater understanding to navigate your life. So, key number one is awareness and wisdom. So, where do you have awareness, but not the wisdom to do it? And a disclaimer to this is you already know. You know all of this already. You actually have all the answers already, but you're not following it because you don't have your main thing anchored. Information is completely pointless. It doesn't help. Awareness is what actually helps. Awareness is what allows for choice because wisdom is discernment. Wisdom gives you the awareness to then make a choice. And when you make a choice, you are making an action. So, an example of this would be a simple one. If you are deciding to eat, and there is, I like this, I use this analogy a lot. There is a Twinkie in front of you, and you are hungry. Well, if you have awareness, that allows you to go, okay, well, I know the Twinkie is not good for me, which then allows you the choice. Well, I'm hungry, but I have a choice to eat this, but I know it's not good for me. You now have awareness. You're taking a step backwards. Awareness is always a step back. I think of awareness as like it's a flashlight in a dark room, and you're like, okay, I see that. I also see this other side. Okay, I understand the whole picture here. So take a step back and you go, okay, well, the Twinkie's not good for me. Well, now you have a choice, and that choice is to make an action, right? So in life, you must have awareness, then you must make a choice, but then you must take the action of that choice. That is the three parts of actually living life. You must have awareness, must make a choice, you must make an action. The next, example is like, okay, you're in a heated emotional argument, right? You and your partner are going at it, telling each other very, very mean things to each other and whatever. You also have the ability to take a step back and say, okay, you know what? Is this how I want to be acting right now? Yes, I'm emotional. Yes, I'm upset. Is this how I want to be acting? And you now have the awareness to say, oh, wait, I don't have to react like this. I actually have awareness to choose something different. So wisdom is discernment. Discernment's the ability to see multiple options. And then wisdom is the ability to make the correct choice. And then that choice is going to give you an action. So I can go, okay, man, why am I yelling at my partner? Why am I saying these mean things to them? Okay, well, I don't want to be that type of person. I reacted. All right, apologize. And boom, make a different choice. So awareness and wisdom is the key to everything in your life, which goes right in to number two, which is choices. Okay. There is only one choice that simplifies everything in reality, and it's very, very simple. You either make things better or you make it worse. And I know that oversimplifies it, but guess what? It's that simple. Anything in your life, there is one choice. Do I make it better or make it worse? And the reason being is neutrality doesn't actually exist. If you've ever read Outwitting the Devil, the author talks about how drifting is the devil's greatest weapon. If I'm kinda getting better, I'm not actually committed with a definitive purpose to getting better. It means I'm not clear in which choice I want to make. It means I kind of dibble dabble. I'm not reaching potential. I get better, I get worse, I get better, I get worse. You're not committed. That's neutrality, right? Which Actually, let me even take that back. It's not neutrality. It just means you don't have the wisdom and awareness, which is key number one, to make that choice over and over and over again of which direction you want to go. Because you have to make a choice. So, okay, if I'm not definite in my purpose of getting healthy, well, today I don't eat the Twinkie, tomorrow I do, right? There's no neutrality. You're just getting better or getting worse in every moment. There's no, oh, I eat well 80% of the time. It's like, no, you make good choices 80% of the time that get you better, and 20% of the time you make choices that make you worse. There's no, oh, I'm like kind of getting healthier. No, it's either better or worse, right? And drifting is the devil's greatest weapon. When you're clear, I want to be as healthy as possible, eating that Twinkie is not a choice, or it's not an option that you're going to choose, right? It's always a choice. And the choice that you have in life when you take a step back around everything, your job is to make reality better for everybody, not just you, but everybody. That is the choice that we have in every aspect of our life. How do we make reality better for everybody? Now, that doesn't mean neglecting yourself. It must be better for you. You're included in everybody, right? So, your choice in life, if you take a step back, you have discernment and awareness, it is to make reality better for everybody. Now, key number three, and this is a Hermetic principle. Um, and this Hermetic principle number one is the mind of God. And the principle states that the mind is all. Okay. Now I'm going to explain that in a second. But first point is we base our choices on doing good or evil. There is good and evil in this world. There is a spiritual warfare going on. It's very evident. Okay. There's good, there's evil. It's not that hard to observe. So, a word we use for good is light, and a word we use for evil is dark. So those are all interchangeable as well. Make things better, make things worse. Light, dark, right? Number two is good. What is good is making something better or making it better, making reality better for everybody according to God's mind. Or another word is plan, right? Christians use God's plan. Hermetic principles say God's mind. The all is mind. What does that mean? It means our role in reality in life is to understand the mind of God, how it works, and to detach from our inherently evil human mind, which is called our ego. So, what we're looking to do is we're looking to make choices from the standpoint of God's mind, not our own mind. So, it's not what Luke feels, thinks, or wants. It is, well, okay, that's kind of what I initially thought, but what would God think of this? What would, the all-loving, all-powerful God that I have a direct relationship with, how would he think of this? How would he go about this? If he is an all-loving, which means he wants the reality to be better for everybody, including me, how would he think about this situation? Hmm. Doesn't hate, doesn't have any negativity, doesn't harm anyone, does no harm. God is not evil. God does not create evil. So only good is God. The only thing that is good in this world is from God. So how would God think about this? How would the light, how would good think about this, right? So everything that we're trying to do in our life is about detaching from what Luke, the character, thinks, which is a human brain, and thinking, okay, let me discern, let me take a step back, have wisdom and awareness, make choices based on what I think God would want me to do. That's a massive key right there. Key number four is to know thyself. A great quote is, you are not perfect the way you are, but you are getting there. Now, if you say you are perfect, if I go, oh man, no, like, to say I'm not perfect is to lower my frequency because now I don't have self-worth because I don't believe I'm perfect. I'm perfect the way I am. I'm God's creation. I'm good. Right? If you say that, you are automatically forfeiting your ability to progress or grow. If you go, I'm perfect, I am love, I am perfection, I am the divine, whatever your, thing is, you're not. You are not perfect, but you are getting there. Let me explain that. We become perfect by knowing we aren't perfect and pursuing progression. So the very fact that I say I'm not perfect, however, I am in the progression of becoming perfect. I am committed in the progression of becoming perfect, right? Remember, there's two choices: get better, make it worse. If I'm making myself better, I'm in the progression of becoming more perfect, which by that commitment makes me perfect. But as soon as I say, nope, I'm good, you are no longer perfect. I hope that makes sense. Because everything in existence can be better. Every single thing. There's no such thing as it cannot be better. So telling someone, oh man, you can do better, it's a meaningless statement. Saying, oh man, like, Luke, you could have done better. Yeah, yes, of course. You can always do better, right? So commitment to the progression, not commitment to delusion of telling ourselves we're perfect. We must know thyself, which includes knowing where we aren't perfect in order to work on that to become more perfect. That is knowing thyself. Key number 5 is service. That is choosing the light, choosing what God wants, choosing what's good is service, right? It is, as Jesus talks about it, you must, what does he say? I'm blanking on the verse. You must crucify yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. Now, what does he mean by that? He means the human brain of what you want, the desires of the flesh, the human want for validation, accumulation, and self-service at the detriment of other people. You must crucify that. You must pick up the burden because it is a burden. It is hard to be of service. It is hard to walk this path. You must pick up the cross and follow his way. Follow the path that he is walking, right? Now, service doesn't mean self-abandonment. It means making reality better for everyone. So a lot of people think service and they think, oh, like, charity work that they don't enjoy doing. It's like I'm serving a charity, but I don't want to be doing it. I'm sacrificing myself. I'm a multi-billionaire and I should be building this business that's impacting millions. However, I must serve. And so I must do what I don't want to do. I mean, kinda, but that's not really what service is about. Service is about having the awareness to choose the light in every single moment and not abandoning yourself because God wants everything to be beneficial for everybody. So when you are serving, it should also benefit you. It should benefit everyone that you're serving. Everybody. It's service. That is what life's about. Now, next point is you cannot share what you do not have, right? You're like, man, I really want to serve the world by helping them, like access joy. Well, you must have joy to be able to give joy. You cannot give something away that you do not possess. So, to serve others, sometimes you must serve yourself, which means that serving yourself is also serving others. If I'm meditating by myself, am I still serving others? Yes, because I'm going to be able to bring that peace to the relationships that I'm in. So that moment of service is not selfish. It's not, oh, he's so self-absorbed because he went and meditated this morning. No, he is in service. He is being in the best possible energy that he can and bringing that energy to you, which now affects you. So it's always a butterfly effect of service. And most people share misery. Why? Because they themselves are miserable. And so when you don't do personal work, when you don't get yourself to a point where you are living a life of service and you are experiencing joy, you are doing a disservice to everyone else because you are bringing that to other people because that is what you're sharing. Whether you think you're, being miserable, whether you think you're miserable or not, everyone can tell. It shows up in the way that you're showing up. So people's energy latches onto other people. If you're miserable and you come around me, I'm going to feel that. I'm going to feel that you are miserable. And that is the gift that you are giving me. It's not really a gift. However, that is the energy that you are giving because that is what you possess. You must possess what you would like to share. When it comes to service, do not care more about somebody else's situation more than they care about themselves. What does that mean? It means if I see somebody, or let's use a homeless person as an example. I used to not want to help homeless people. I used to rationalize to myself that, oh, it's not worth it. That, they need to get up on their 2 feet and help themselves. They're, just victims. However, if I go up to a homeless guy and I say, hey man, would you like help getting off drugs? And he goes, yes. Well, obviously I should help him. Now, if he goes, no, I don't want help off drugs, should I grab him by the shirt and drag him to a drug detox center? Well, I'm helping him, right? I'm helping him get off drugs. Well, that is crossing the line of free will because if he doesn't want to get off of drugs, I am not going to impose that onto him. And that is what I mean by don't care more about somebody else's situation more than they care about themselves. If he wants help, I will offer him the help. If he does not want the help, I will say, okay, no problem, and keep walking. Now, all we can do is point out a different timeline for them to explore, and they must choose it themselves if they want it or not. So, in anything that I'm doing in life, if anyone ever asks me anything about anything, the only thing I will do is instead of getting really attached to, I really want this person to accept the help, or I really want them to start thinking about life this way, or I really wish they would change their perspective on that. Because as humans, you know what we're really, really good at doing? Seeing the plank in everybody's eyes, seeing the limiting beliefs that are holding them back, seeing all of the different flaws in other people. And a lot of times we just want to point it out to people, right? However, all our job is to do is just point out a different timeline to them, meaning a different path that they could walk down. For example, the homeless guy again, it's like, hey, would you like to get off drugs? I would be more than happy to help you check into a drug rehab center and get you a place to stay and get you off these drugs. Is that something that you would like my help with? If he goes, no, I go, all right, no worries. God bless you. Have an awesome day and keep walking. My only job as a human being is not to take responsibility for people. It's just to show them that there is an option and then give them that choice, right? Just like we have choices, it's give them a choice. Be of service by giving people a choice. If they have the choice, well, now they have the opportunity to choose that or not. So influence is working with you, the human heart. So the human heart, people are like, oh, be in your heart, right? That is just a symbol for the motivation of the human spirit. It's not your physical heart. Your heart is just an organ that's pumping blood, right? And, you could think about it as your soul. You could think about it as your human spirit. I don't want to get too into the weeds of the metaphysics behind it. However, heart is a symbol for the motivation of the human spirit. That's the best way to universalize this understanding. So, the first nature of the human heart is to seek peace, love, giving, sharing, and kindness. And the shadow side or the opposite side of the heart is taking and disguising it as love, right? So you understand what the good of the heart is, what the, shadow side of the heart will do, um, will basically take from you. If you're, um, the best example of this is like if you're, in a, let's see, if you're like in a relationship and, the person that you're with only wants to get things from you, right? I had a friend growing up that, the only thing they cared about was what they could get, right? Hey, when I come over, can you make me this? Or can we use, your car to go do that? It was like there was always an agenda of what he could get from me, right? Hey, do you mind paying for me on this? It was always something to get, right? But disguised it as, dude, you're my brother, like I appreciate it. It's like, yes, but you're not giving. You're not coming from a giving place. You're not looking to share. You're not, looking to be of service in any way. You're just looking to take, right? And that is the shadow of the heart. They disguise it as love, right? Now, the heart actually says something at all times, and that is we all matter. The heart is immune to all things of the world. And again, heart, spirit, soul, however you want to look at that. But it is kind of the essence of who you are. At the essence of who we are, we would all agree we all matter. We all matter, right? The heart is immune to everything. It's immune to everything of the world. Nothing in this world could ever dim your spirit, your light at all. It's impossible because the heart or the spirit is always saying you're okay. Like, even if you got abused or something extreme like that, the heart goes, yeah, you're okay. We're okay. Why? Because you are always okay. And think about all of the, things that you have gone through. Every single moment of your life that you didn't think you were okay. Are you okay? Your success rate is 100%. You've made it through every single one of those moments you didn't think you were going to make it through. So why would this be any different? Now, the mind and the emotions, that's the tricky part. That's what says everything else. That's what tells you, no, you're not okay. You're not okay. You're not, what about this? What about this? Oh my gosh, they said this. Oh my gosh, you could never do this. You could never be with them. You could never be friends with them again. Oh my gosh, this is oh, blah, blah. Mind and emotions says everything else. The heart, the only thing it says, you're okay. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. Because it's immune. It's immune to everything. It's the mind and the emotions that create all these meanings and stories and everything about our life. So that's important to know. This is kind of the foundation before we jump into some other things. And then the last point is if you are talking about the past, you aren't really considering your heart telling you you're okay, right? You've been abused in the past. Well, you're just not considering the fact that your heart's like, dude, you're fine. Like, you're good. We're okay. It's the mind that goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to me. Because this happened to me, I'm going to be like this. And because that happened to me, I'll never be successful. And it starts creating all of these belief stories. And then the emotions around those thoughts is, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. I'm worth it. It starts creating all of this whirlwind of negativity that restricts you. But you're responsible for that by not having the awareness that, hey, you actually have a heart that's saying you're okay. Your spirit literally says you're okay all the time. We're good. My mom said something to me a while back, and she's like, Luke, like, do you ever get mad? I was like, not really. Like, I get frustrated. I don't get mad. Like, how? It's like, I don't know. Like, I just know I'm always good. Like, no matter what happens, it's like I'm good. Like, I'm okay. And that's just because I can tune into my heart, tune into my spirit, and understand I'm okay. I'm good. So how do you tell if you're in your heart or if you're living from your spirit, right? Well, Jesus answered when asked how to achieve eternal life. He said, "Follow my commandments, love God, and love your neighbor as yourself." So, with that being said, I take that as okay, well, people ask, well, how do you love God? Well, you love your neighbor as yourself, right? Because there's divinity of the spirit in every single person around you. So, if God asks, well, do you love me? It's like, well, do you love people? I think that's the easiest answer to how to, judge if you're in your heart, because your heart says we all matter. So, what is your relationship like with people? That is how you judge your relationship with God. If you love God, you will love people. Doesn't mean you have to like them, doesn't mean you have to hang around with them, but you won't have any negative thoughts towards them. You will just simply discern and make a choice. I'm not going to hang around them. Cool, but I love them. I absolutely love them. What judgments are you putting on people? What evil thoughts are you putting on them? Ugh, why do they wear their hair like that? Oh my gosh. Why do they say that? It's so weird. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that I would never say something like that. Stuff like that, all those judgments that you're putting onto people in your head, saying out loud, talking to someone else, doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. That is a judgment. So here's a crazy one. Can you still love a school shooter? Should you? There's two approaches. You see a school shooter on the news and you go, what a piece of shit. I hope you rot in hell. Like, ugh, what a disgusting, being that is. I can't even believe they would do that. I hope they rot in hell. Okay. All right. Understandable. I get it. Versus I wholeheartedly despise what that person did. and they should be punished extremely. However, as a fellow human being, you are still loved. You feel the difference? Piece of shit, I hope you rot in hell versus I despise what you did and you should be punished extremely. However, you're still loved. You feel the difference in energy there? Now, why is it important to even love a school shooter? Well, love God, love your neighbor as yourself. That's how we achieve eternal life, right? Jesus says, love your enemies. This is an example of that. Now, I also put hell is the absence of God's presence. So hating, hoping someone rots in hell, judging, that's not from God. That's from your human mind. The all is mind. So if you're doing something that's not from God's mind, it's not what God would do through you, then that is evil. But they murdered people. Like, I understand, but God doesn't hate them. God still loves them. So why don't you? If you're withholding God's love from another person, you are by nature demonic. I'm not saying you are possessed, but I'm saying you were influenced by a demon, because demons are all around us, influencing us to not choose what the God's mind suggests. That's the demon's job. God has his mind, and then there's demons who are trying to get you to not go along with what God's plan or mind or how God would act through you do. So, because God is working through you, and there's a school shooter, and you bring away the presence of God, you're not doing what God wants you to do, which is to love. Doesn't mean to like, doesn't mean to hang out with, doesn't mean to agree with, means to love. Someone who loves you doesn't want you to rot in hell. Someone who despises what you did, thinks you should be punished, however, still loves you, is still love. That is the mind of God. And so if you are not choosing what God would do, you are by nature demonic. I know that's a little heavy, but it's the truth. There's two choices in life. There is light and there is dark. And a lot of times we make decisions without the awareness that it's actually dark. And that is why awareness is so important. The ability to take a step back, the ability to look at the choices in front of you and say, is this of God or is this not of God? And the reason that you must have God in your life is because without God, there is no good. What good is there? How do you justify if it's good or not? Well, logically, it's good. Okay, well, here's a thought experiment. Let's say there's homeless people all over. I live in Austin, Texas at the moment. There's tons of homeless people. I think we can all agree it'd probably be good for the city of Austin to get rid of the homeless people, right? Not have a homeless problem. Or maybe not get rid of them, but to not have a homeless problem. So they all have homes, right? There's no more homeless in Austin. Okay, I have a solution. Let's say I don't have God in my life. Okay, you know what? Oh, I got a solution. Why don't we give them 24 hours to get off the street and find somewhere to stay, or we kill them? We go around and shoot them all. It'll solve the homeless problem. I guarantee, I mean, within 25 hours, there will be no homeless on the streets of Austin. Problem solved. Why is that wrong? Well, it's murder. Okay. I don't think it's wrong. According to who? The government? The police? I don't know. I don't agree. Let's just change that rule. Based on what? I don't think it's wrong. Solving the problem, it's gonna be way better for the city, right? So there has to be God. Like there has to be. There has to be because that is the ultimate authority. There has to be an ultimate authority. Otherwise, it's just chaos. And if you don't believe in God, then what you're saying is the government's God. Okay. I mean, if that's the God you want to believe in, I don't agree with their decision-making process. I don't know what they're basing their decisions on. That's why our government's going to shit right now. We don't know what we're basing our moral and ethics on. That's why we're seeing people, change their genders. And we're like, oh, yeah, yeah, of course they should be able to. It's like, no, there's two. There's male and female. Because there has to be a baseline reality and there has to be an ultimate authority we all answer to. So God has to be at the top of our decision-making process. Key number six is contemplation. Contemplation is the removing of an emotional reaction or state and playing what if scenarios in every direction. Okay, how would that work if this happened? Okay, if I left this job, what would I do? How would that work? Would that be fulfilling? Would I experience joy from that? What if I stayed and I went, 10 times harder? How much money could I make? What would that be like? What if I, stayed in this relationship? What if I didn't? What would that be like? What would it be like if I stayed? Is it worth it? Do I see the potential? Is this a good idea? Is this the mind of God? Right? Same thing if, we're talking about the home studio. Is this the mind of God? Okay, no, it's not. All right, I shouldn't do that. Close that door. Is this moving me closer toward my main thing or further? We're going to talk about the main thing, building all of the building blocks first before we get there. Is this moving me closer toward my main thing? Should I go watch that movie? Is that moving me closer? No. All right, maybe I shouldn't. Okay. Am I making reality better for all? I want to start this business. Well, does it make reality better for all? No, it's a little, not probably not the best. Okay. It's a theory tester. Contemplation is your ability to think things through. It's the ability to sit still and say, okay, let me think about this. Not let me go through my life and hopefully, people who, like, for example, on a sales call, oh, I'm going to go think about it. It's like, but you're not. Like, if you're telling me, hey, I'm going to go take 30 minutes after this call, I'm going to sit down with nothing and I'm going to just think about this. Okay. All right. Great. I'll call you in 30 minutes. I would be totally okay with that. I would want them to do that. It's like, all right, you know what? You haven't been clear enough already. All right, do it. But what people do is they don't think about it. They don't contemplate. They go about their life. They keep themselves busy with other activities. And then 2 days later, they go, no, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do this. And then they call back, like, yeah, I know I'm not going to do it. Because they didn't actually think it through. They just let all the uncomfortable feelings build up and they go, ah, it's too much money. I'm not going to do it. Because you didn't contemplate. People don't make decisions from grounded places anymore. Your theory tester is contemplation. Every single thing you believe. If you are I challenge you, if you are a Christian in this moment, you need to test your theories. You see, the reason I am no longer considered a Christian is because I took a step back and I read the Bible from the lens of not trying to prove Christianity right, not coming from the bias of, oh, I'm going to try to prove what my pastors and everything have told me. I just said, scrap all that. I'm just going to read the Bible and see what conclusion I come to without any bias. And when I read the Bible, I'm like, this there's a lot of inaccuracies in what the Gospels are. I mean, just from Jesus's teaching to Paul's teaching, all sorts of stuff. And I believe Christianity is great. Like if I had to, pick a religion, I'd say I resonate most with Christianity. I also think it's been, changed over time, and there's been a lot of false teachers in Christianity, and a lot of Christianity's become, humans' perception of how to experience God. Um, Based on Jesus, which I totally believe in Jesus. I'm using Jesus in this presentation, but there's a lot of construed truths in there and a lot of information left out. I mean, for example, the Bible doesn't even show Jesus after 12. He shows back up when he's 33. Right? It's like, where was he in that time period? Why was that left out? There's so many parts. I mean, another thing just to throw out there is Paul's gospel versus Jesus's gospel. Jesus never ever talked the same way about salvation that Paul did. So this isn't a talk about that, but there's a lot of stuff that when I just read the Bible straight up and I was like, what conclusion do I come to? I was like, I don't know if I'm coming to that same exact conclusion that some of the churches are. but it's because I contemplated about it. And then I went and sat, then I thought about, okay, well, what if it's not true? What if it is true and I'm wrong, but I'm really just convincing myself it's not because I don't want to, comply to this religion because, maybe I have some trauma around it or I don't like it. Well, what if I'm actually right and I'm not willing to explore it and I close it off because it seems so simple and I see a lot of people, get good results from it. Well, what if you can get good results from it? And there's also a higher truth. And I started thinking through all these things, and you contemplate and you challenge yourself over and over and over and over and over again. And eventually you'll get to the point where you get to this. You're like, oh, reality. Oh. And any way you test it, you're like, yep, it holds up. And so that's what contemplation's about. So influences against you, emotions. So first understanding reality is that which cannot be changed by thought, feeling, or emotion. If I'm looking at this wall, look at that white wall right behind me. I'm gonna think it to be blue. No matter how hard I think, it will not turn blue. I feel it's blue. It's not blue. Emotion, okay, I need to feel the frequency. I need to think that it's blue. I need to have the thought. I need to feel, and I need to align with the frequency of that wall being blue. It's not blue. Okay. Why? Because reality cannot be changed by thought, feeling, or emotion. It's not how it works. There is a baseline reality that cannot be changed. So, what that means is number one, we must demote emotions on our priority list. We must refuse to act off of impulsive, or we refuse to act impulsive off of emotions. Maturity is can you control your emotional state? That doesn't mean can you not feel emotions? It means can you feel emotions and do something in spite of that emotion? That's maturity. You see, people who are patient, it's not that they don't get annoyed, it's that they decide, they choose. Another going back to the choice key, you have a choice. I don't want to be annoyed. I'm going to be patient. I don't want to be angry. I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to be calm. I don't want to be rude to my partner. I'm going to be kind. Emotions are a choice that you get to make to engage with or not in every moment. Just like I talked about, in every moment, there's always a choice make it better, make it worse. If I engage in this emotion, will it make my life better? Will it make reality better for all of us involved? You're in an argument with your significant other. They say something that pisses you off. Okay, choice moment. I can engage in the emotion. Let's say the emotion is you got angry. Okay, you can engage with that. But does that make reality better for both of you? No. So that's not the mind of God. So that is evil. Okay. Well, other side, I could feel the emotion, say, you know what, I'm going to have maturity. Even though I'm feeling angry, I'm not going to let my anger out. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to be respectful. And I'm going to be kind. Is that what God would do? Yes. Okay, so that is good. So there is good and evil in that choice, right? It's a choice. You can choose whether to engage with the emotion or not. Because the mind of God says, I care, but I'm not emotional. God is not emotional. God is not a human being. God doesn't have emotions. God cares, but guess what? He doesn't worry. Why? He doesn't understand fear. Fear is not something God actually understands. God doesn't have fear. God cares, but doesn't worry. He cares, but he's not emotional. So that is what we're supposed to do. That's the mind of God. All is mind. Your main thing must be more important than your emotions. Small example. If one of my, things that I'm committed to in my life, is becoming healthy. I keep using this example because it's just easy. Well, if I am hungry, or you know what, let's just say getting in shape, because hunger is not really an emotion, more of a feeling. But if I am wanting to get in shape, Okay. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Long day. Tired. Whatever it is. But I'm committed to becoming a bodybuilder, becoming the best shape of my life. That's like part of my main thing. Cool. Well, if I'm tired, can't be that the emotion is more important than that main thing. So your main thing must be more important than your emotions. You must demote emotions on your priority list and refuse to act impulsively off of emotions. If you don't have enough to do, that is when you're emotional. You shouldn't have enough time to be emotional. My mentor taught me give an emotion 15 minutes. You're angry, 15 minutes, set a timer, go punch your pillow, let it out, express it, be angry, not at other people, right? But let it out. 15 minutes, cool, that's it. After 15 minutes, you are holding on to it. You should be so aligned, so definite in what your main thing is, of what's important to you to get done in this life, of how you're going to make reality better for you and everyone else, that you don't have time to be emotional. Give it your 15 minutes and you're like, I got shit to do. I'm on a mission here. You should be that freaking committed to your mission. You don't have time to be emotional. You should literally feel like you have so many things to do. And it's like, man, there's like 20 things I want to be doing right now, but you have to pick two to three of them to focus your attention on. That is what the main thing's about. There's so much you could be doing, so much you want to do. You know what? In this, moment right now, there's a movie that I almost finished. It's really, really good. Really, really good. I would really like to watch that right now. However, I would much rather be doing this because this is more of my main thing. This is getting me closer to where I want to be. I don't have time to be emotional. 15 minutes, that's all I get. After that, I'm holding on to it. It's no longer serving me. And so if you have time to sit and wallow and feel bad for yourself for more than that, it's like it's a clear indicator you don't have a main thing. You're just drifting. The devil's got you. You're drifting. You do not have definitive purpose. Okay, next up is the mind and body influences against you. So the mind and body are connected. They are both anti-God. Whoa, whoa, Luke. No, that's not true. God created us. God created our body, our minds. Well, when you die, does your body go with you? Do you believe you go to heaven? Does your physical body here go to heaven? No. Oh, so then when you're in God's presence, you're telling me your body won't be there? Okay. So then that's not of God, huh? That's anti-God because that's temporal existence. You know what will go to God? Your spirit, because that's eternal. Your spirit will not die. It is an eternal spirit. That is eternal life. It is eternal. You will not die. The spirit doesn't die. So, with that understanding, and same thing with your mind doesn't go, to you with you into the afterlife. That's part of your physical vessel. In order to take a spiritual being, a spirit, and bring it into a physical reality, you need a physical vessel, right? That physical vessel, the mind and the body, is not actually able to go back into that spirit realm, right? So it is not actually of God, it is anti-God. Now I'm going to explain how that actually makes sense. Stay with me on this. And first of all, let me explain this as well. You can think with your mind or your heart. We talked about the heart, spirit, soul. That's an eternal thinking. There's also the temporal thinking, which is your body and your mind. Okay? That's important. So now we're going to talk about the first nature of the body and mind, why this is anti-God. The body and the mind is anti-God. Watch. And when I say anti-God, I mean what God's mind actually wants for you, the body will initially, its first nature is not aligned with that. So let me explain how. And it all ties into, in order to be in this physical realm, a spirit coming into the physical, it has to be. And I'll show you why. So the first nature of the body and mind is understanding that body consciousness is your default setting. So the first nature is your body communicating to your mind. And the default setting of your body and mind is to seek impulsive, quick rewards and to respond to the body's demands. An example, when I was making this slide, I was hungry, very hungry. Actually, haven't eaten all day. Literally been fasting and drinking watermelon juice today. Very hungry. The body consciousness, or think of it as the mind of the body, the mind or the body is hungry. The mind goes, "Oh, you're hungry. We need to eat. If you don't eat, you're going to die." That's what the body, as an animalistic being, thinks. It goes to your mind and it goes, "You need to eat because you're hungry. If you don't eat, you will die." So it goes, "Okay, what can we eat?" "Oh, well, seeking quick impulsive rewards or responding to the body's demands." I was hungry as I was making this slide, and I go, "Okay, I'm very hungry. Should I get up and stop this flow of train of thought of building this deck out, which is part of my main thing, and I feel really aligned with this and feel really good to go eat and break this fast that I committed to earlier on?" The body goes, "Yes, you're hungry. If you don't eat, you will die." That is the default setting. If you're not aware of the different thoughts going on in your head, that is the default setting. Why are people fat? Is it because they don't know that eating that is bad for them? No, they do know it's bad for them, but they're listening to their body. "Oh, well, I'm hungry. I have to eat. I have to." "Well, you have to eat breakfast. Well, you have to have lunch." No, you don't. That's what the body's telling you. "I haven't eaten all day." Am I hungry? Yes. Does my body keep telling me we need to eat? We need to eat? Yes. However, I know I don't need to. So my default setting is I need to seek quick impulsive rewards and respond to my body's demands. The body doesn't understand the nature of God, which is progression. It just simply communicates to the mind to do something. I'm hungry. It goes, "Hey, we need to eat right now." That's all it does. Where then I can take a step back and say, "Okay, I hear you, body. I hear that you're hungry. However, I'm fasting because I'd like to heal myself and I'd like to, um, you know, what's all the fasting word? Blanking on it. A trophy or something like that. I don't know. Well, let's just use an easier one. I'd like to lean out. I'd like to lose some fat. Sure, whatever. The body doesn't understand that. The body doesn't go, "Oh, yeah, you're trying to progress. Okay, no worries. I'll just not be hungry." It doesn't. It just goes to the mind and goes, "We need to eat. We're hungry. You're going to die if you don't eat." So the body is constantly communicating, "Hey, address this impulsivity, or we will die." If there's a Twinkie right in front of you, it'll go, "Hey, eat that. It tastes good." Because it doesn't understand the consequences due to their belief. Here's another point. The body believes tomorrow doesn't exist. And this is important. Why does this matter to you? Why does it matter to understand this? Because you have to have awareness of how the body works. So it gives you the ability to make a choice from a more empowered perspective. Make a better choice, make a better action, change your life. Just saying, "Oh, I want to be healthy," and trying to stick with that. The reason you can't stay consistent is because you don't understand the actual nature of the body. You don't have the actual understanding. You just go, "Oh, well, it makes me healthier. I'm going to do it." Great. That's surface level. This is the true understanding of why you shouldn't eat seed oils, why you shouldn't eat some of the crap that you eat. It's because you are losing the battle to your own body. And God doesn't want you to deteriorate yourself. He wants you to progress and get better. So, Twinkie's right there in front of me. It tastes good, eat it. But my body goes, or my body says that, but then I have the ability to take a step back and be like, well, I could eat that, contemplation. I could eat that. However, if I eat that, that's going to affect my body in this way, in this way, in this way, and I don't want that, right? So the body doesn't understand that tomorrow exists. It goes, it doesn't matter that it's bad. It doesn't matter that there's consequences to that Twinkie. You're hungry. You need to eat that now. That's the only thing the body cares about. It's the only thing it wants. It says, no, that doesn't even matter. Just eat that. You're hungry. We need food, or else we're gonna die. Because it has the belief that tomorrow doesn't exist, right? You know, the old saying, YOLO, you only live once, right? Yeah, live your life because you don't know if tomorrow's coming. You don't know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow. Well, understood. That's a logical way of looking at it, but that's wrong because tomorrow is coming. It is coming. The decisions you make today will have consequences tomorrow. There's always an effect of every cause and effect. There is always an effect. Well, what if I die tomorrow? Your spirit didn't die. You're still alive. You're just in a different realm. There's always a tomorrow. So every decision you make today will have an effect on tomorrow. You think your decisions in this life don't affect the next life? Yikes. Good luck in the next life. So the body thinks that survival is a bigger priority than progression. The Twinkie's right in front of me. We must eat it. It thinks survival is a bigger priority than getting better. No, I'm not going to eat that because I want to be the healthiest version of me. I want to feel my best, look my best, and be committed to making the right choices in every moment, making my life better, not worse. The body doesn't think tomorrow's coming. Think about when you breathe. If I hold my breath, what does eventually the body start saying? Breathe, breathe, you're going to die. You're going to die. Right? It's the same thing. Your body and mind do not think tomorrow's coming. They don't care about your progression. That is the first default setting of your body and your mind. Now, the second nature, consistency and discipline. What that means is overcoming instant gratification to pursue long-term goals through regular study, practice, mindfulness, persistent work towards objectives such as career advancement, knowing thyself more, service to all. So this understanding is that the first nature of the body and mind is actually against you. You're fighting an uphill battle by the nature of being in a temporary reality. You are an eternal being living in a temporary reality that eventually you will evolve out of and be in the next one, whatever that is. So you're fighting an uphill battle by being a spirit here in a human body. By nature, you are fighting that battle. And so the second nature is once you have awareness of that, you go, okay, but I can be consistent and disciplined despite that. That's the second nature of the body and mind. You can actually use it to your advantage. But the mind and body left unsteered is a crazy device. And that will by default kill you. If you do not have consistency and discipline to eat healthy, what will your body do sooner? Die. You will be gone. But if I have consistency and discipline to eat the right foods, guess what? It's going to prolong my life. It's progressing my life, right? So by nature, your body actually wants to what? Wants to die. And so we must have consistency and discipline. We must steer our mind and body ourselves. Consistency, discipline. Because think about this, food, water, air, stimulation through an entertainment. Because I think we do need entertainment of some sort. We don't just sit and eat, drink, air, stimulation. No, we need some entertainment. We need to, okay, got it. Like there's things going on. It's all things we need for the body and mind. So it's not bad that the body needs those things. However, if any of those things take priority over long-term progression, Twinkies right there, we need food. That doesn't mean we eat it. If we're committed to living a healthy life and progressing our life, making the right choices in every moment, then you won't eat that. Your job is to reject that Twinkie. But the body communicates, no, we must eat that. Survival is more important than progression. It's like, but I know I can survive by not eating that. The body doesn't know that. So you must reject that with consistency and discipline. And what drives our second nature? It's very simple. Self-love. That's it. You won't have consistency and discipline if you don't love yourself. You just won't. You won't think you're worth it. You just want the impulsive reward in that moment to distract you from this feeling that you don't love yourself. Other influences working against you, drugs and alcohol. Look, if you need to drink alcohol with your friends, you got terrible friends. The reason that I moved out of my hometown was the only time I hung out with my friends, minus a few of them, my group of friends, was when we were drinking or getting high. When we hung out sober, it was like, what do we do? What do we talk about? If you need to drink alcohol or do drugs with your friends, you need new friends. Getting high means you don't enjoy your life. And this is coming from someone, I've done a lot of drugs, done my fair share of drugs, lots of drugs. It means you don't enjoy your life. Why? Because what is there to escape? Why smoke a joint if I'm already happy and joyful in the state that I'm in? Why would I desire to change the state that I'm in? What are you trying to change? By the very fact of you desiring to change your state, it means you're not content with the state that you're in. For weed, it's like, okay, you feel like you're missing out on a state you could be in if you smoked. Or, I can't relax the way I'd like to. I can't sleep the way I'd want to without it. Why are you not addressing the real problem? You can't feel like you can relax without smoking a leaf? Yikes. You feel like you're missing out. You can't have fun, listen to music. Like you can't do those things and get progressively more happy, more joyful without smoking a leaf? Really? Hmm. Why are you escaping? If you really sat with this, you'd be like, shit, you're right. Anytime I do drugs, it's to escape. That's it. Now, I am not doing drugs anymore. However, I had a good run. But I admit, with full wisdom and discernment, I was trying to change my state because I wasn't happy in my current state. Now, it doesn't always mean that I was depressed and I was taking, MDMA because I'm like, I need to be happy. It's like a lot of times I was in a great mood, but I felt like I was missing out on what I could be feeling if I was on, Molly, or if I smoked weed, or if I took mushrooms or acid or whatever the drug was. But that feeling of feeling like you're missing out is the very thing holding you back right now. What is there that you're missing out on? Nothing. Why are you trying to change your state with a drug? You change it. Change your life. Get more committed to your main thing. Your main thing in your life should be so fucking exciting. You don't need drugs. The fuck do I need to change my state for? I got shit to do. Why? Why? And then, this is the funny one. The other thing I always hear is, well, no, it's natural. Natural. God created weed. God created mushrooms. Just because it's natural, that is not a good argument for being congesting it. That is not a good argument. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good for you to congest, right? For example, just because it's normal doesn't mean it's good. I'm in a apartment right now. There's air conditioning going. I have artificial lights going on. It's not natural. Is it good? In one category, yes, it's keeping me safe. It's keeping me cold. Um, it provides me shelter. Well, it should be natural, right? Well, that's unnatural. Well, if I go out in nature, there's things around me that want to kill me, right? I don't want to be there. So I have an apartment, protection, air conditioning. It's hot as hell outside in Texas right now. I would eventually freaking pass out from the heat. So this isn't natural, but it's good, right? Or another example is Rocks are natural. I don't eat rocks, but it's natural. It's natural. So natural doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean it's good to ingest. Just because it's a natural element of, the planet, just because it's a mushroom grown from the ground, it doesn't mean it's good for you to ingest. Just because it's a plant, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to light it on fire and ingest it into your lungs. Like, not a good argument. So, highly challenge you to eliminate or at least very much limit your drug and alcohol consumption. It's a waste of your time and only pulling you away from your main thing. Key number seven, law of cause and effect. This is a hermetic principle. I forget which principle it is, but basically, you should not live to see what happens. You should live to make something happen. Okay, spectators observe effects. Creators have awareness of both the cause and effect, and if they don't get the effect they desire, they take ownership that they caused that and adjust without self-judgment. If you're in sales and you spend 2 grand on some leads, cool, and you close none of them. Well, what cause created that effect? Okay, well, there was a cause of I didn't sell. I don't have the skills to sell. Um, the leads weren't good. Okay. Can buy a different lead pack or a different lead vendor. Probably not the case. All lead vendors are closable or else they wouldn't be in business. No one would keep buying them. So they're obviously working. So don't close, don't blame the leads, but that's a separate conversation. So, what causes can I change to get a different effect? That is the awareness you have, and without judging yourself. And then you adjust. You go, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a different lead vendor. I'm going to change the sales process that I have. And again, you're not changing if you're on my team at least, don't change your lead vendor. It's not the leads, it's you. But we're going through the awareness of what can you change? You could change the leads. Maybe the leads do really suck. There is some shitty lead vendors, but it is what it is. So, what can you do to change the cause to get a different effect? That law applies to everything, and we'll talk more about that. Key number 8 is controlling your story. Every single story should end with, and that's how I learned the lesson and evolved to be where I am today. Every single story. Make your past story a winning ending. Change the past to create a better future. Triumph of this is how I succeeded anyway. Okay. I had an instant in my life where I was sexually abused when I was 16. Now, that story and that circumstance is exactly how I learned certain lessons and evolved to be where I am today. I would not be who I am without that circumstance. I am where I am, and it's awesome. It is insane to see that my character has been able to go through that and be where I am today. It's a winning story. Woo! How the fuck did I get through that? That moment taught me so much about myself, what is possible, and now anything in my life lower than that level of pain, it's like just literally just whoop, brushes right off. It's like, okay. Like there was a time I, didn't have money for my rent. I, was completely broke. I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Whereas if I hadn't experienced worse pain than that, it would have been a big deal to me. But then getting through that moment of not being able to pay my rent, figuring it out, going through all that pain, then anything lower than that going forward would brush off my shoulders too. So for me to go through that level of pain in my life earlier on in my life and get through it, it's like anything below that, it's like piece of cake. So that circumstance is the exact reason I am where I am today because no struggles lower than that have any grip on me. And so that is a winning ending for me. So when I say change the past to create a better future, I also could have let that be the reason I'm not where I am today. Oh man, that happened to me. Like, oh, like, it's you're broken, you're fucked up, like your parents got divorced, like, dude, life is so hard, you've been through so much, like, I just want empathy. Like, I could go get people to empathize with me for why I'm not successful in my life, and I could make that my whole story. And guess what? People would be on board. They'd be like, yeah, you've been through so much, man. You really got dealt a really shitty deck. And that's just a couple examples, right? You don't know what I've been through. I don't know what you've been through. I'm sure you've been through some shit. I've been through some shit. But I go into the past and I say, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And then I find the triumph of that. I change the building blocks of what I'm giving my present and future self. And I go, that was exactly what made me this awesome. The past is what made you this awesome. How the fuck did you get through what you've been through? That's insane. That's crazy. But it's exactly what you needed to be exactly where you are today. So go into the past and give it a winning ending. Because when you go change the past, you're changing what? You're changing the future. If the past is what made you this awesome, why wouldn't your future be awesome? If all the evidence that you have of your life is, oh, everything I've been through made me awesome, why wouldn't your future make you awesome as well? So you see where it gives you hope. You're like, oh, life is awesome. Everything I've been through just makes me more awesome. And so the key distinction here is this isn't reframing. Reframing's opinion. Like reframing would be like, oh, like I don't really like vanilla. You're at an ice cream shop. I don't really like, you know, I don't really like vanilla ice cream. And then your friend goes, well, understood. When making a decision about ice cream, it's not really about if you like vanilla ice cream. It's more so about, if you're willing to be uncomfortable and try something you don't like because we only grow when we're uncomfortable. So it's more about pushing your mind past what it already believes. And so that's a stupid example. However, that's reframing. What am I doing? Their frame of how they're looking at it, you're just giving them a different way to look at it, but it's an opinion. It's not actually reality. Them just saying, I don't like vanilla ice cream. I don't want to eat it. That's totally okay. It's just an opinion of frame. Now, understanding how reality actually works is what I just talked about. I could let everything I've been through be the reason I'm not where I am today, make excuses, sulk, man, I've been through so much. Or I could say, man, this is what made me so awesome. I'm so incredibly proud of myself for getting through all of that and being where I am today and being in control, in power, because power is in the choice. And there's always a choice because there's free will. God gave us free will. There's always a choice. So the two choices you always have, make it better, make it worse. I could go into the past and say, okay, I'm going to let that past create my future. I'm going to give it negative building blocks. I'm going to be depressed. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to let that be the reason I don't become successful. I'm making it worse. Or I look at it and go, okay, that sucked. However, I'm going to make it better. How do you make it better? Create a better future. Go into the past, say, this is the exact reason that I am where I am today. I learned this, and this, and I wouldn't be where I am today without that. Thank you, God. Here we go. Let's go build a better future. Fuck, I'm awesome. How did I get through that? Amazing. All right, let's go. So your two choices, you could lay down and cry, make it worse, or get up and go reorient your future. You can't change that. I can't change what happened to me. I can only change going forward. So you're going to let the past create your future, or are you just going to go create the future by changing the past? Ooh, the words are getting confusing, but it's true. You're changing the past to create a better future. So get up, go reorient your future. Trust me, you've been through some shit. I get it. So go change the future. Fuck the past. So you see life from the eyes of God or the mind of God, right? That you are okay. Why? Your heart's saying that. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Why? Because God's saying that. You're okay. When that happened to me, do you think God was looking at me and he's like, ooh, yikes, bro. Not good. Not good. What do you think he was saying? You're okay. You're okay. He's saying that. So no matter what you've been through, God is up there just being like, you're good. You're okay. Why? Because God doesn't worry. God doesn't have any worries. He only knows good. So there is no bad in that. It's up to you to choose how you'd like to move about that. So, last point on this is God gave us building blocks to create heaven. Okay. In the Bible, which talks about the kingdom of heaven is within you, not out there. It's not up in the sky somewhere. It's not over there, not over there, not over there. It's within you. And so God gave us the building blocks to create heaven. So if you'd like to experience heaven on earth, which says that in what prayer? The Lord's Prayer. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? So he gave us building blocks to create heaven here on earth. He didn't just create it. You're not just going to jump down from the sky and make it heaven down here. He said, no, here's the building blocks. Go create it. Here's free will, here's choice, here's awareness, here's wisdom. Go create it. And here's free will, by the way. So also, if you want to not choose this, you can. I'm not going to force you. So instead of giving the past negative building blocks, give it positive ones. Every single story in your life, give it positive building blocks. Why? It's not delusion. This isn't a reframing game of delusion. Kind of feels like it at times, but that's because you didn't understand that this is actually how reality works. Now that you know this is actually how reality works, you're not reframing yourself. You're not in delusion. You're genuinely making a choice to give yourself positive building blocks to create heaven on earth. Oh, control your story. It's everything. Key number nine, destiny is real. Okay, kind of like let's say you put in your Apple Maps, you want to go to the gym. It gives you those blue lines, which is the path you follow. Turn left here, turn right here, and it will get you here in 9 minutes. It's the quickest path to get to the gym. You came here with a destiny. It's the same thing. It's from X to Y. It's, from your home to the gym. All right, it's going to take you 9 minutes to get there. However, you have free will to choose any path you want. So if I'm driving and it tells me to turn right, I could turn left. And yes, it's going to reorient me and say, okay, now it's going to take you 11 minutes to get to the gym. But if I keep making the turns that the GPS is telling me not to do, eventually I'm going to be so far from the gym that even if I turn to go towards the gym, it's going to take me a long, 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 long time, right? So you have the free will to choose any path you want, but there is a path already out there for you. You just have to understand there is a plan for you. So there is a GPS system out there destined for you, but you must recognize it, right? It's not out there with 333 and angel numbers spotted everywhere telling you to go here. You must recognize it, you must own it, and you must go create it. Because the path isn't just, oh, move here, jump in this job. It's like, no, it's how am I showing up? What am I putting into the world? How am I going about it? There's so many parts of it, but you must own that path. And if you get off the path, you need to realize you're off the path and get back to it. So you must constantly realign with the mind of God to ensure you don't make a wrong turn. What does that mean? Well, let's say again, GPS analogy. I'm 5 minutes away from the gym. I've been on this path. I've been aligned with the mind of God. God's been telling me, I've been, contemplating about what God would want me to do here, and I've been going about it. I've been always choosing the light in every decision I have, never, withstanding or never, what's the word? abstaining God's presence from anyone. I'm always, always, always choosing the light in the choices that I make, making everything better. I never make anything worse. And then you're 5 minutes away from the gym. Cool. Play along with this analogy. The gym would be like the ultimate destination. Great. Fulfilling your destiny, right? Okay. Well, what happens? You decide, oh, you know what? I actually think there's a shortcut. It says to turn right. God tells me to go this way, but I actually think there's a better way. Boom, you turn left. Okay, now it's 7 minutes. But that's because you tried to make that decision in your life versus aligning with what God would actually want you to do. So it's about recognizing what God wants you to do. The all is mind. God's mind is what we're trying to mimic, what we're trying to connect to, because our human mind is not here to help us. God is here to help us through us. So you must constantly realign with what God actually wants to ensure you don't make a wrong turn. And then demons, devil, evil, they are constantly trying to get you to take the wrong turns. And what they do is they help you justify that that's the right move. So it goes to turn left, you know, or yeah, the Apple map says to turn right, and you're like, no, like I really think I should turn left. And you're like, well, logically it makes more sense because it's on the left side of the road and whatever, your logic. Oh, like I really don't want to, take more calls. You know what? I think sales just isn't for me. I really think I need to go back and, work as an office manager at my last job. I think that's what God's calling me to do. I mean, it makes more sense. Like, it's more stable, it has a salary. And you start justifying things that actually isn't what God wants you to do. So they will trick you through logic, emotions, thoughts, feelings, right? You're in a relationship with somebody, they do something, and you're like, oh, like, this isn't the person for me. Maybe it's possible. Maybe that's what God actually wants if you fully know that's what God wants. But most of the time, if you're making a decision to make it worse rather than better, it's probably not. And so what they will do is trick you with emotions. They'll get you to be angry. They'll get you to be upset. They will put those emotions into you, put thoughts, feelings, logic into your brain to trick you to make a decision that's not actually your destiny, not actually what God wants for you, right? So we must know destiny is real, and we must always try to align with what God wants us and be aware of like, okay, is this really what God wants me to do, or is this what I want to do in every single moment? And understand that there's forces outside of us trying to justify with thoughts, logic, emotions, thoughts, feelings to get us off that path. And that's why discernment is so important. That's why wisdom and awareness is so important because we must think and take a step back and contemplate all the different options of like, okay, is this me? Am I getting tricked here? Am I validating my own belief system here? Is this actually what God's calling me to do? Is this coming from love? Is this coming from fear? Where is this decision coming from? Am I moving closer towards my main thing or further away? And always centering our decision making of choice on God. Key number 10, action. Okay, there is distraction and traction, right? Distraction and traction. Right? So in every choice you make, there's an action that you would take, and you're either moving toward or away from what you want. And simply put, distraction is, hey, I love something that doesn't provide a return. Oh, sorry. Let me get back to the training. That was a distraction, right? It didn't provide me any return. It was a false return. It was, oh, I was curious about this plan, right? But it took me off of the traction that I had of being in this training. It's a distraction. It's, I love something, doesn't provide me a return. No return on this. That was just a distraction. Okay. All right, buckle up. This is the big one. Influence is working against you. Anxiety. Let's talk about it. So, actually, let me take a sip of this first. Anxiety is the beast of all distraction. Anxiety stems from the collapse of your imposed order falling into perceived chaos. What does that mean? So, when you have an order of how you think things should go, if you're on my sales team, right? Let's use that as an example. You're like, okay, I want to make $20,000 a month. Cool. All right. So you are like, all right, I got $2,000. I'm going to put it into leads. I'm going to make $10,000. Then I'm gonna, set aside 3,000 of that for, potential chargebacks. I'm gonna put $5,000 towards my bills. I'm gonna put another 2,000 towards leads. And then I'm gonna make another 10,000, or I'm gonna make 12,000 from that, and because I'm getting better. And then from there, I'm gonna stack that money to make this, and then I'm gonna be able to get to 15,000, and then I'll work my way up to 20,000. Okay, sweet. That's your order. That's your mental order of how you think things are gonna go. Okay, well, that's great. You have order because you have to have order to create something. Um, you gooseball or you goose egg your first batch of leads. You don't sell any. What now? Well, now you have anxiety. Why? Because your order collapsed. So now you're falling into perceived chaos, right? Now, to back it up a second, everything must be created from order. Okay. Um, what's a good example here? Okay. Um, two pens, right? And just toss them on the Like just toss them on the desk, right? Okay. Is there is there anything from that, or is it just two pens, right? Okay. Now I take that and I go, hey, I want to make sure this is front side up, but take this and I go, you see the cross? Yes, you do, right? I've just taken two random objects and made a cross. Or I guess a better example would be if I took like four of them, right? And I just dropped them on the floor. Did it create anything or is that just four pens? Just four pens. Whereas if I take this and I go, oh, well, if I take this pen and I put this other pen here, it creates a cross. You see the cross? I've taken chaos and created order, right? Because now I can look at this and you can look at this and we can both say, oh, yeah, that's a cross. Cool. Chaos to order. So there's another Hermetic principle. It's called the law of gender, which just states that the masculine and feminine is in everything. There is order and there is chaos in everything. Um, so the masculine is just one polarity and the feminine is just one polarity. The masculine is order. The feminine is chaos. Now, that does not mean that, chaos is worse than order. In fact, order is just as bad at times as chaos, and chaos is just as good as order at times. It's completely even. Chaos just has a little worse connotation in our society. So that's why initially when I said that, you're probably like, ooh, I don't know about that. But it's true. Just wait. You'll see. So, for example, and for definition's sake, chaos is unforeseen enters the order, right? So the masculine is the order. I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend this on leads. I'm going to make this much from it. And here's what I'm going to stack this money. And then I'm going to eventually get to 20K a month. Cool. That's your order to get to 20K a month. Sweet. You goose egg your first batch of leads. Chaos has now entered your order. Now your entire order has collapsed. Now you're in anxiety. I don't know if sales is for me. I don't know if I can do this. Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to make my rent. Now you're in anxiety. Now you're what? You're distracted. You're distracted. Why? Because your order's out of whack, but your main thing hasn't changed. If your main thing is still 20K, why would you be worried about all the bad things? You just go, okay, my order changed, and here's the next order that I'm going to assemble to get myself to my main thing because I'm committed to making this main thing happen. Anxiety is a distraction. Blah, 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 blah. When, oh, the order fell, it's like, great, just make a new order. You didn't make any money on leads? Okay. Well, I don't have any money left. Okay, great. I'm gonna go get a part-time job. I'm gonna get some money saved up, and then as soon as I have another 2,000, I'm gonna be training in the meantime. I get that 2,000. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be so much better because I'm gonna train while I'm at that part-time job. I'm gonna use that money to get leads, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did. It's just gonna take me a little bit longer, but here's my new order. Boom. You're aligned. You're in action. You're not in distraction anymore. The chaos entered, and you reassembled your order. It's that simple. Are you actually committed or not? So basically, what you're saying when you're anxious is you view yourself as incapable of succeeding unless you're inside the order. Well, I didn't make any money on my first batch. Okay. All right. Well, how does that change your ability to get to where you want to go? Well, I don't have any money left. Okay. How long is it going to take you to get another 2 grand? Well, 2 months. Okay. We'll see you in 2 months. Just change the order. Why are you anxious about what it happened? The only thing you can do now is give yourself another order to get to where you want to go. That's it. So the rigidity of your order is what causes anxiety. You see, when you grip onto it has to go this way. That's what causes anxiety. When you have your main thing defined and you give yourself an order, because just like order, too much order and the rigidity of that causes anxiety. If you just have no order, well, you don't get to your main thing. You don't achieve anything. You're just stagnant. So you need order. You need to use the masculine energy of order while understanding the feminine energy of chaos is part of reality. It's going to come in. It's the unforeseen. And then you must know I'm capable of succeeding despite the chaos. And when the chaos comes and changes up my order, which it will, because that's how life is, and it always will, most of the time, sometimes it does go according to your order. Great. Sometimes it doesn't. So you expect it. All right. If it doesn't, then I'll just change my order. So anxiety is really just massive confidence issues. It's just a confidence issue that, oh, I'm not going to be able to deal with this. So the avoidance of an ulterior order, you had your order set. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, take a week off. I'm gonna go have to, DoorDash, make some money, or I'm gonna have to, put it on my credit card. I really don't want to do that. In the past I've gotten into debt. I'm scared of doing that. Well, the avoidance of an ulterior order is condemning you to hell. It's condemning you. Why? Because you're so stuck that it has to go in this order that when it doesn't, you're in hell. You're experiencing anxiety. You're experiencing these things that are not of God. We're not supposed to be anxious. And I'm just using a sales perspective, but there's so many other examples. Plug in whatever gives you anxiety into this teaching, this understanding. You had an order of how you wanted it to go, inserted unknown, where it changed up your order, and you go, oh crap, I'm not capable of getting to where I want to go because I'm only capable of getting there within the order that I set. Do you see how foolish that is? Do you see how rigid of thinking that is? I can only get there if it goes according to the way I want it to go. No, you have a confidence issue. It all went to pieces. Okay, just create a new order. If that's really what you want, then it wouldn't matter. Nothing would stop you. You got set back, you didn't make any sales. Okay, cool, fine. Create a new order. If that's really what you want, then why are you bitching and complaining that it didn't go according to plan? Just make a new order and keep going. Keep fucking going. You'll get there eventually. One of these orders that you create will work. Just keep going. The wrong belief. as well as, one side of the coin will say is like, oh, just go with the flow, right? Well, what that means is you accept uncertainty without order. So, trying to think of an example here. Oh yeah, like you know what? I bought 25 leads. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. I don't know. Figure it out. You are accepting uncertainty without any order. You should say, okay, I just bought 25 leads. I think I'm going to close 15% of them. I'm going to take that money and do this with it. And then give yourself a plan. Create an order of how you would like it to go. Well, even to buy the leads, you had to create an order. I'm going to buy 25 leads. I'm hoping to close X amount, and that's going to leave me X amount of money, which means I'll have X amount of money left to buy leads for the next batch, right? That's order. But if you just go with the flow, you wouldn't even buy leads because there's no order. There's no order to actually get there. So go with the flow just leads to stagnation. The balance that you want to be in, because everything is balance, right? You want order. You want a balance between order and chaos. Now, chaos not used in a negative way, it's understanding that I have order and I have unknown, and that is chaos. And to find a balance, I'm going to create an order that I believe can get me to my main thing and achieve what I'd like. And I accept that there will be chaos. There will be chaos. So I have enough order to have direction and purpose, plus enough flexibility in that order to embrace the unplanned. The mindset I always think is like, I don't know when the storms are coming, but I am confident in my ability to sail it. I don't know what's coming, but I am confident in my ability to sell it or sail it. Don't avoid, engage. That's it. You're in your order, unknown comes, don't avoid it. Engage with it. I was on a date with my girlfriend and we got a flat tire. Whew, was not planning for that. I had an order of how I wanted the date to go. Tire got flat. We're about an hour and a half away. My brain goes, okay, well, we're not going to be able to drive home. So I guess I'm going to create a new order here. I'm going to call, see, I didn't have a replacement tire. So I was like, okay, well, I can call and see if I can get a new tire, get towed to a tire shop and get a new tire. And if not, then we'll just get a hotel tonight, hang out, be a little staycation, and we'll get a tire in the morning. Now, I didn't plan for that. I didn't really want that, but that was now the reality that I'm living. So now my job is to now create the next best order that is arising. So I don't avoid and go, oh, my fucking flat tire. Oh, this sucks. I'm so sorry. This is terrible. Oh my gosh, this day sucks. I can't believe I have a flat tire. I don't avoid it. I just engage with it. And I go, all right, cool. New order needs to be created. I'm the creator of this reality. Now's my time to create a new order. You're okay because you've always been okay. So when you feel that anxiety come up, the first thing you need to do is, oh, that's my body and my mind saying I'm going to die. What does my heart say? I'm okay. You didn't make money from your leads. I'm okay. You get a flat tire. I'm okay. And last thing on this, if you don't love yourself, you'll always have anxiety because you won't think you can get through it. It's that simple. And then, again, your body and mind. Here's a great example. You're at the gym and you're lifting to failure, right? You're doing curls. You're on your 10th rep, you're trying to get to 12, and you're barely getting it up there. And your body is saying, just stop. Right? Your body is basically communicating to you, no more. We cannot take this. We will die. Stop. Your body is in anxiety. It is saying stop, but you are using what to overcome that? Your choice. You go, well, I feel you, body. I feel your desire to stop right now, and I'm not going to. And you keep pushing, right? And what happens over time as you continue to do that? It becomes easy to train to failure because you've made the choice so many times to overcome your body's desires, right? The first nature of the body, right? So same thing when you have your order collapse, which guess what? It does all the time in life, all the time. You create order, chaos enters. Your ability to relax into that is a repetition. And the more you do it, the more, just like training to failure at the gym, your body is like, stop, stop, stop. And you keep doing it. Why? Because you're committed to it. You have discipline, you have consistency. When you get a flat tire, when you don't sell, the amount of clients you wanted to, when, something doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to go, you don't have to give in to the body's desires of anxiety. You can just say, oh, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm just going to create a new order. I don't have to spiral and think about all of the reasons why this is bad and how this is probably not going to work out. And I just go, okay, whew, I'm actually okay. I just create a new order. And you start building that rep. And when you build that rep, it's just like building that rep where you're training to failure. Now you understand I can actually be okay when chaos enters. I don't have to be anxious. And so then when you're in your order, you're not constantly analyzing, oh my gosh, where's it going to go wrong? What if this happens? What if this happens? You're not constantly in fear. You're just like, hey, look, here's my order. Here's how I'd like it to go. It may not go according to plan. And guess what? If it doesn't, I'll adjust because I love myself and I know I can. I'm confident that I will be able to sail whatever chaos enters my order. You're always supported, just not in the way you want, but always in the way you need. Always. Key number 11, joy. Joy. First off, if you confuse joy with money, you will be a lost human being. Trust me, I have done that up until like yesterday. Literally. If you confuse joy with money, you will be a lost human being. A lot of people think, oh, well, once I have money, I'll have a good life. Okay, well, then what? I give you $1 billion. I give you $100 billion. I give you infinite money. What now? Oh, well, I would have a penthouse and I would have a yacht and I'd have nice cars and I'd be able to take my family on nice dinners and okay, that's great. That's entertainment and stimulation. Not saying those things are bad. I would I want nice things. I'm all about that. But I'm not about that if it's distracting me from what's actually most important. And I'm not about it if it's sacrificing my joy. So do not sacrifice joy for money because actually, I'll wait because we're going to get to money. So the formula for joy is number one, the time I use to build tomorrow. Number two, do you have peace with the way things are right now in this moment? And number three, building confidence to know you can handle the unknown. We just talked about anxiety, handling the unknown, handling the chaos that enters your order that you have built. When you have confidence to know that you can handle the unknown, you have peace. You have inner peace because you go, yes, it may not go according to plan. And that's part of life. And if it doesn't, I will adjust. I will create new order. If that doesn't go to plan, I will adjust. I will create new order because I'm the creator and I'm here to create my life. And so all I'm going to do all my life is commit myself fully to constantly creating. So peace with the way things are, while also using your time to build a better tomorrow. You're not perfect the way you are, but you are getting there, which by nature makes you perfect because you're at peace with the way things are. You feel great. You feel at peace. You go, yep, I have an order, I have a plan, I have my main thing. I have so many things I want to do. And here's the things that I'm going to prioritize. And I have confidence if it doesn't go according to plan, I can handle the unknown. And I am going to use my time today to get me closer to those things that I have prioritized so that tomorrow it will be better. That's joy. That is true joy. When you do that, you are in joy. You will experience joy. If your only outcome is money, all you will do is not experience joy. You must understand these teachings. You must understand these keys to actually experience joy. You also can't have joy without good relationships and tangible fruits. Okay, without good relationships, you can't have joy. Tangible fruits, we're going to talk about that later, but you must actually be producing in the world. Can't just sit back on your couch, do nothing, and just be like, oh, I'm good. I'm joy. No, you must be producing things in the world. Okay, let's talk about money. Give me the money, man. Grant Cardone, money. You ain't got no money, man. Never compromise your joy for money. Ever. Don't. Don't. Accumulation of wealth without purpose is ill. If you're just accumulating money to accumulate money, that itself is a distraction. That is an idol. That has become your God. If you're just making money just to make money, so without purpose, that's ill. It's evil. You're not accumulating it for a purpose. One of my favorite quotes is this: success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Ultimate failure. You have all the money in the world, you're sitting in your penthouse, you got your mega yacht, you got your supercars, but all you've achieved in your life is making money. That is the ultimate failure. So, how I approach money, my belief on money, is that you should have 12 months of resources saved up. And I just mean set aside, right? So, if I do not produce a dollar starting today, I want to have at least a year's worth of good living, right? Whatever your monthly expenses are right now, you should have 12 months saved up. Now, if you don't, cool, just save that up, however long that takes you. Now, everything after that should have a purpose outside of survival. It should be to fuel you towards your main things. Every dollar after that, if you're just accumulating it to accumulate it, it doesn't have a purpose. And that's a distraction. You should be using the resource of money to amplify the things that are important to you, amplify your priorities. If you're in sales, to buy more leads, to, for example, I have an insurance company. I used all of my money to start this company to buy leads for everyone on my team so that they can sell and make money. You want to look at what's important to people, look at what they spend money on. Some of the, Miami, archetypes of people with all of their chains, Botox, designer stuff. Why is that what they spend their money on? Because that's what they value. They value the validation of other people, the importance, the significance that that possession fills them with. Not saying there's anything inherently wrong with designer, nice cars, Botox, any of that. Not saying there is, but it can definitely be used as something that's bad when you're chasing validation, when you're looking to get significance. That is when it's wrong. When you're using money to things that don't have a purpose, right? So have a year saved up of money, put that aside. Of course, put money in investment vehicles, invest in it. Of course, you should have your money making you money. Of course, I'm not saying, oh yeah, yeah, be stupid with your money, just stick it in a checking account and never touch it. No, of course. You should have 12 months of resources ready to go whenever you need it, in case anything goes wrong. That's survival right there. But after that, your money should be fuel. You should be using the money for a purpose, right? I used the money that I have to build this business because I know it's good for me. It's going to make me a lot of money. It brings me a lot of joy and fulfillment because I'm able to help other people make money. I'm able to, provide trainings like this to them and give them knowledge and insights that have helped me. I'm pouring into them in every way I can. That's where I'm spending my money because that is purposeful. Your money should have purpose that you're using it for. Um, I kind of already said this, but entertainment becomes purposeless over time. Like entertainment's good, but it can also become bad very, very quick. You get super rich, and guess what? Entertainment, this is why, and I said in the last slide, you can't just have money be your end goal, which is for a lot of people. There's like, I just want to make much money as possible because entertainment and stimulation becomes purposeless over time. All that happens if you just get rich and you don't have a purpose, a main thing that you're going after, all the extra money that you have, instead of going towards your main thing, goes towards entertainment. It goes towards stimulation and it goes towards accumulation of nicer and nicer and nicer things instead of fueling you towards what's actually important. And so if I just get rich without having that clarity of what my main thing is, well, then when I get the money, I just get a nicer apartment, nicer car, nicer shoes, nicer clothes, and I just constantly go, 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 go. Until guess what? The richest people in the world are what? Sometimes most of them are the most depressed. Why do celebrities kill themselves? Why do rich people kill themselves? Because they just accumulate, 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 accumulate. And they're like, shit, there's nothing left to accumulate. Oh my gosh, I'm unhappy. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do with my life. And boom, gone, right? You must have something that fuels you. You need a main thing because entertainment, money will just give you better and better levels of entertainment, but that will become purposeless over time. You can distract yourself for long enough. Most of the time, you can distract yourself long enough to get through this life, but it won't be an enjoyable one. You won't have purpose. You will just be entertaining yourself. Money's not the root of all evil. Um, I want money. I'm all about money. Give me all the money. Give me the money, man. I want the money. I want lots of money. I desire lots of money, and that is not a bad thing. Money is simply an amplifier to express your internal world into the external, just like I talked about Miami archetypes, which nothing against people in Miami. There's great people in Miami, there's bad people in Miami, just like any other city. But that is just an archetype I'm using. Money, when you get money, it's just an amplifier to express your internal world to the external. Okay. I used my money to build this business to help people. I paid for leads, I paid for infrastructure, tech, all these different things, legal fees, lawyers, all this stuff. I used all my money to try to build this company for other people so they could make money because that's my internal world. I really want to help people have a vehicle to make money. The Miami archetype who's putting all their money into, external things, it's like, well, you're just amplifying your internal world, which is I want significance, I want validation, I want people to think I'm attractive, I want people to like me, right? You're just amplifying. So there's nothing wrong with money, but you need to have a purpose for it. Don't just say I want to make money to make money. Be like, cool, I want to make money. I'm going to get my 12 months of resources saved up, and now here's what I'm going to use it for. Doesn't mean to just shell it all out. I'm not saying not have financial literacy and be somewhat conservative at times, but it means to have a purpose. Put it towards something. Use it. It's just paper. It's useless if you don't use it. Okay. And then we're all destined to be externally rich and internally rich. We are born to have abundance. We are born to be externally abundant in our resources and experience joy, internally rich. Love, connection, joy, purpose, meaning, connection. Both. We get both. This isn't a one side or the other. We get both. So if you if you fail to utilize awareness or wisdom, it's simply because of three things. One, you do not understand the law of cause and effect. Two, You're not able to redirect your emotions that influence you towards impulsivity and leaping to address an immediate need or want, compromising your long-term potential, growth, and results. And three, your main thing is not clear. Okay? If I have a Twinkie in front of me, my main thing, I'm going to be a bodybuilder, which is not. I'm just saying. Let's say I really want to be healthy. One of my personal, one of my main things is I'm going to be lean, jacked, healthy, really important to me. Great. Okay, well, if that Twinkie's right in front of me, my body signals to me, body consciousness, the first nature of the body goes, oh, we're hungry. We need to eat. You're going to die if you don't eat that. Survival, eat that. And I don't have the ability to understand law of cause and effect. I'll just eat it. Right? But if I go, okay, well, if I eat that, what is the effect? Well, it's definitely not going to make me leaner. It's going to make me addicted to it and crave it and want it more. That's going to lead to bad decisions of eating more of it. I don't want that. It's really bad ingredients. It has cancer-causing ingredients, seed oils and food dyes and sugar and cancer-causing ingredients in there. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna eat that because you understood law of cause and effect. The second one, if I'm not able to redirect emotions that influence you towards impulsivity, and I leap to address an immediate need or want, well, I see the Twinkie and my emotions go, oh, but I'm so hungry. Oh, man, it's been a long day. Or actually, let me even give you a better example. You're in a heated argument. Your partner says something pisses you off and you just want to fire back, right? But you have the awareness of wisdom. That emotion got triggered in you, you got angry. And then instead of impulsively trying to get back at them or saying things that you know would, win the argument or play well in this, you just go, you redirect the emotion that is trying to influence you towards an impulsive response, right? You redirect the emotion that wants you to eat that Twinkie, right? And so instead of leaping to address that need or want, you realize I'm not willing to compromise my long-term potential, growth, and my results. Your partner says something that pisses you off, you go, I'm angry. I'm going to redirect that emotion though, because I'm not willing to compromise the long-term potential of me being in control of my emotions. I'm not willing to sacrifice that. I'm not willing to sacrifice the growth that I've worked so hard to not respond emotionally like this. And the results that I'm getting in my relationship by being calm and patient, even if this person reacts, I'm not willing to compromise that. So if you fail to do any of these things, it's one of those two things so far. Or number three, your main thing is just not clear. If it's important to me to have this relationship and to build and pour into it, and I'm clear that this is important to me, well, then I'm not gonna choose that choice in that moment. I'm not gonna respond emotionally. I'm not gonna yell. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm not gonna, do any of these things. I'm not gonna eat that Twinkie. That isn't in congruence with the main thing that I'm after. So if you fail to utilize wisdom, it's one of those three things. So get clear. If you make a mistake, it's one of those three things. And it's okay. You're going to make tons of mistakes. You're going to react angry when sometimes to your partner. You're going to eat the Twinkie sometimes. Maybe that's not your thing that you will. But the point being is you're going to make mistakes, and it's because you're failing to utilize wisdom or awareness. And that's simply the only reason you would fail to utilize any awareness or wisdom. It's because of one of these three things. You're either not clear this is what you want, you're not able to redirect the emotions that were influencing you towards an impulsive decision, or you just failed to understand the law of cause and effect. Key number 13, we're getting towards the end here of the keys. Dedication to the main thing. So dedication is clearly identifying our focus so we can build resilience to reject distraction, right? If you really know that one of your main priorities is to build a healthy relationship and you're dedicated to that, well, what would be something distracting to that outcome? Well, let's see. Well, I mean, work could be distracting if you don't have boundaries around work. Like if the relationship's something important. Okay, yeah, perfect. If let's say your two priorities are, your relationship and your business, right? Being able to build, your business up. Cool. Well, at some point, they would both be distractions for the other. So you must have boundaries around when you will work and when you're going to pour into your relationship. You can't let your relationship become a distraction to your business, but you can't let your business be a distraction to the relationship. So you must balance both. That's why having two priorities is already a lot. Um, Three priorities is people with exceptional discipline and work ethic. They can take on three, but they must avoid all unproductive activities. And personally, I'm very disciplined. I'm one of the most disciplined people out there. And I only have two main priorities that I commit to because I still have some unproductive activities. I like watching movies. I do. Um, I like um, I like cooking meals. That's not really productive, towards either of those two main things, unless I'm cooking for my partner. I guess that is productive, but I do scroll on my phone sometimes. I catch myself. I'm really working on it. Really working on it. I do sometimes. There is things that I do at times that are not always productive. And so I'm sure you listening to this, you would consider yourself a disciplined person with a high work ethic. However, I literally mean no unproductive activities. And, coming from me, I'm very disciplined and I'm trying to get you to understand that like you probably can't have three. You probably can't. So, maybe you do. And, that's awesome. Congrats that you've cut out everything, but that would mean you don't waste any second of your day. So, most people are going to have two priorities, typically a personal and a work one. If you have four priorities, you will require another person to help share the load. That is why relationships are so beautiful. If you can find a partner who aligns with you on your main things, you guys can share more than two main things. That is really, really special. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could be a friend. It could be, it could be anybody. But you guys have to be aligned in that mission dedicated to these main things. And then last thing is weekends aren't about entertainment. They are just about what more can I get done? Weekends are a societal concept to rationalize being distracted. Where did we get this idea from? There is 48 hours, Saturday, Sunday, two 24-hour periods. It's just time. It's not a weekend, it's just time. How you choose, because we always have choices, how you choose to engage with that 48-hour period is simply a choice of getting better or getting worse. That's it. So are you dedicated or are you not? The weekends are not a break from your main thing. If you are trying to get a break from your main thing, it's not the main thing. So your dedication is identifying your focus so you can build resilience reps to rejecting distraction, right? Not going out to the bar, when my two main things are building a healthy relationship with my partner and building the business. Why would I go out to a bar? What? That is a complete distraction. Is it helping me get more success in my business? Is it helping build my relationship? No, distraction. That's not dedicated. Why would I make the choice to do something that's not helping me in either of those? All right. I told you I would give you keys and I told you I would help you measure the quality of your life. I also told you I would help you identify your main thing, which we will get to. We talked about the influences that are working against you. We talked about influences that are helping you. Now we're going to talk about how do you measure the quality of your life? Well, there's 5 components. There is your purpose. That is the compass of your life. There is the energy, which is the fuel. You have time, which is kind of the stage of life, kind of the stage that you're on, right? There is spirit, which is the source. And there is fruits, which is the harvest. So let's dive into those. So your purpose, this is your compass in your life. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Ask yourself that in every moment. Why am I doing what I'm doing right now? Well, this is part of my main thing. That's why I'm doing it. It is going to help my business. It is going to help everyone around me. It is going to help my relationship. It is going to help everyone. It is good for me. It is good for everybody. It is part of my main thing. That is why I'm recording this right now so that I can share it with other people. That's why I'm doing it. Because knowledge just for yourself isn't good for everyone. You want to share it with everybody, right? So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's my compass. So I have my compass, which is my purpose, which is my main thing. So main thing is like, these are the 2 priorities in my life. This is what I'm building. This is what I'm after. Purpose is like, well, what is the purpose of doing what you're doing? My compass, got it. Purpose is kind of aligning you to, is it aligned with that? Yep. Okay, great. I'm doing what I'm doing because of this. One of my mentors, Dave Lanyon, to live a meaningful life, you must do meaningful things. Okay. This is why hookup culture is the biggest waste of time. It's meaningless. It is a legitimate physical act based on impulsive emotions, sexual charge, sexual chemistry, that you are having an emotional pull towards someone because you want a physical desire that your body's communicating to you that it wants now. It's not meaningful. It's a distraction. Is pursuing or engaging getting you closer towards number one, a healthier relationship, if that's your main thing, and building the business? No. So it's meaningless. You want to live a meaningful life? Do meaningful things. Have a main thing in life that you're after. Have purpose behind what you're doing and reject everything that's not going to get you to that. Are you seriously telling me that a physical urge of the body and emotion, you can't overcome that? You can't be bigger than that? Your purpose, your main thing isn't bigger than that? Really? Don't waste your time. You want to live a meaningless life? Do meaningless things like that. Energy. This is the fuel of your life, right? Energy is the focus of your attention and the use of your vitality, right? So the reason I'm able to talk to you right now is because I have energy. I'm focusing my attention. I'm using my vitality, which is my health, my, youth, my youngness, my body to hold me up and use, hand motions. Like I'm using my attention, focusing my attention and the use of my vitality. That's my energy. Where or toward what am I directing my life force? So I'm focusing my attention right now on building this training for you guys. I'm using all my vitality to give you energy, to be present, to be, enunciate, to have tonality changes and not just be monotone the whole time. So it needs to be anchored to what matters most. If you are giving all this energy to Here's an example I see. People who are athletes, I used to be an athlete. I played college basketball. And a lot of times college athletes go from like, let's say basketball to golf or basketball to another sport. And they put all this energy, they're putting all their attention and vitality into getting good at this other sport. Yet that is not their main thing in life. They're not trying to be a pro golfer. They're just golfing because they want to get good at it. And it's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with an occasional entertainment of using sports. Sports are great. However, if you're directing all of your life force at this thing and you're making this your thing, that's not anchored to what matters most. If your main thing is building your relationship, which eventually leads to a family, and building your business to create financial freedom for yourself and other people, well, guess what? That would not be anchored to what matters most. The focus of my energy and vitality is being wasted on something else. All right, spirit. So this is the source. This is your ultimate why. Your mind versus God's mind. We've talked about all is mind. Our job is to step aside. What does God want? Does this align with what God would want? Is this good? Okay, sweet. Let's do that. That aligns. Not what we want, not our feelings, thoughts, emotions. What is reality? What does God want me to do here? So understanding the two of God's mind and your mind, understanding that. That is the ultimate why. When you connect to what God wants and you hear his direction and you go, okay, that's what God wants me to do. Got it. I'm going to do that. That's the source. You must be connected to God. You must have a relationship with God so you can get the guidance to not make the wrong turn, right? We have a destiny. The only way we get to that destiny is if we listen to the GPS voice saying, hey, go here. Hey, don't turn left here. Hey, go straight. Okay, got it. All right. Yep. But if we go, oh, I think it's turn left. All right, you know what? I think I should take this job now. We're not listening to ourselves. We're supposed to listen to God. Next thing is, are you focused on making reality better for just you or you and everybody else? God wants life to be good for everybody. Everybody. Are you focused on just making it better for yourself? Because that's not what God wants. Imagine if every human on this planet was here to make it better for themselves equally as much as everybody else. How much better would this world be? The reason the world is where it is because a lot of people just make it better for themselves. It needs to be good. For something to be good, it must be good for all because that is what God wants. And like we have talked about, there can be no good without God. To know thyself is to know God. I am a charismatic person. If you are watching this and you are charismatic as well, you had to know that about yourself. Well, you are not uniquely given that charismatic trait. I have it too. That charismatic trait comes from God. We're made in the image of God, right? All of the life and spirit that comes from who we are is God. So to know thyself, to know all of the strengths about you, to the great characteristics about you, is to know God, because that is God's essence. And then last thing, are you moving towards knowing God's mind more or less? Are you in constant pursuit of understanding what it is that God wants? What it is that God wants to do in your life? What it is that is good for you and everybody? How do I bring more light into this world? That is the ultimate why. How do I make this reality better for everyone? God, use me for your will. Make your plan clear to me. Keep all evil that is trying to distract me away from me. What is it that you want me to do? Guide me. Your will be done, not mine. Make it clear to me. Are you moving towards understanding what God wants more or less? Time. This is the stage of life. because you are always spending time 24/7. 24/7. Don't have enough time? Well, what you're really saying is I don't have enough left over after handling my other priorities. If you have two priorities and someone says, "Hey, man, you want to go golf?" And you're like, "Man, I'm sorry, I just don't have time." Yeah, what you're saying is I don't have time because I have priorities. I don't have any time to fit that in. I'm sorry. Now, if let's say your two priorities that all of your time's being taken up with is playing pickup basketball with your friends and your job, right? Let's just say that. So that's your two priorities taking up all your time, and someone goes, "Hey, man, um, I have a business that I would love to start with you. It's going to make millions of dollars. I'll pay you $1 million a year salary." You're like, "Man, I just don't have time." Or take the salary out of it, because of course you would leave your job and take the $1 million salary. But someone comes to you and is like, "Hey, man, like I would love to start this business with you. I just need your help on this. Like, would you mind helping me out with this?" You're like, "Man, I'm sorry, I just don't have time." What you're saying is you don't have time left over after handling your other priorities. So the decision isn't you don't have time. The decision is you're not willing to prioritize that over your other priorities. That's all you're saying. Time is just a priority game. There's only 24 hours. We all have the same 24 hours. Let's take 8 hours out of that for sleep because you do have to recharge your energy, right? Which is the fuel. So you need to refuel yourself. So let's say there's 16 hours that you have on the stage of life every day. You can't have too many priorities. And if you don't have enough time, the question isn't that you don't have enough time or not, if you have enough time or not. It's, are you willing to change your two priorities or your three priorities? Are you willing to let that take place of that? If not, it's an easy decision. Nope, sorry, I can't do that. Why? It's not a priority for me right now. Don't say you don't have time. Say it's not a priority for me right now. Someone says, "Hey man, I have this massive charity work I want to do. It's this and that." It's like, "Hey, that sounds awesome. Right now, that isn't a priority for me because this, and this is. However, I'd love to support you with some financial support, or hey, I'd love to support you in this way, but right now that's not a big priority for me." Doesn't mean because someone comes to you with charity work, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. But maybe that is going to require you to sacrifice some of these other priorities that you're not willing to sacrifice. Well, now it becomes a bad thing. Just because it's good doesn't mean you're obligated to fit it into your priorities. So you must be choosing what your main priorities are, your main thing, and then anything that is not going to take the place of that priority, it's not in there yet. So, how are you using the time you've been given? How much of the present do you spend thinking about the past or worrying about the future? Why are you wasting your time thinking about that? Thinking about the past, waste of time. Worrying about the future, waste of time. So think of your time like a pie chart. Where is your time being spent on things that's not advantageous, moving you closer to your main things? And then the last one is the fruits. The fruits. Fruits. So fruits are tangible results in the physical world. What fruit is my life producing in the material world? Think about that. It's a whole journaling question in itself. What fruit is my life producing in the material world? Your fruits are measured by three things: joy, transformation, and impact. The quality and the impact of your life depends on if you're following your main thing. What does that mean? Your fruits should produce joy, they should produce transformation in you and others, and they should make an impact. And so the quality and impact of your life depends on if you're following the main things. Your main thing should be producing what? Fruits in the world. How do you judge the quality and impact of your life? How well are you following your main thing? Do you have a purpose to what you're doing? Is it meaningful? Where is your energy being focused? Where is your vitality and life force being used? Is it anchored to what's most? Do you have an ultimate why? Is this God's mind pulling you or is this your mind? Are you focused on making reality better for you or just you or you and everybody else? Where are you spending your time? Do you have fruits? Are you actually seeing results? If your main thing is to have a better relationship and you're just not, the relationship just is not getting better, you're not having good fruits. So you need to change the cause and effect. You need to change the cause. You need to look at these things. You need to say, okay, well, eh, am I in all of these? Am I utilizing these five things? If you're not seeing results in your relationship, you're not seeing fruits, tangible results. You're not having joy in your relationship. You're not seeing any transformation and you're not seeing any impact. Well, then whatever you're doing is not working. You need to change it up, right? You could be putting all of your time, energy, and have a purpose to what you're doing, but if it's not working, you need to change it. It's just not working. Being aligned doesn't avoid the fact that sometimes you just need to change what you're doing. If you're not getting results in your relationship, you need to show up better. It's that simple. If you are not seeing results in your business, you need to be better. So, your vision must manifest. Manifest means to bring into existence, to create, so to say. Whatever your vision is, it must actually become real. If part of your main thing is to create a business that creates financial freedom, you must create financial freedom. Part of my main thing is creating financial freedom for me and for everybody around me. It must happen. It's done. It's going to happen. It must. My order of getting me there when chaos enters, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't phase me because I go, it must happen. That is my vision. If my relationship, to have a healthy relationship, that is part of my vision, it must happen. My order of getting us there to a healthy, lifelong marriage, building a family, if that's my vision, it must manifest. So when my order of how that relationship's supposed to go, we get in a fight, we take some time apart, whatever the chaos is, I just rebuild the order and I go, doesn't matter, that vision is going to manifest. Why? Because I said so. Because I'm the creator of this order. And it must manifest. I must see tangible fruits. I must have tangible fruits that are measured by joy, transformation, and impact. You've changed reality when others can participate in the change you've made. Okay? For example, I know I understand this information and that I'm applying it to my life because I can teach it. Teaching is the highest form of learning. I can't teach something if I don't understand it. I could teach this like information, right? I could teach you, um, I could teach you how to do a real estate deal, and walk you through the math of it. And yet I don't really understand how to do a real estate deal, but I could teach you the information of it. I know I understand this because I can provide the awareness to you to make the same choice. So, for example, I explained anxiety and how there's order and chaos. I know I truly understand that because now you have the awareness to make the same choice. That's how I know a tangible fruit has actually been produced because it's brought me joy. It can provide transformation if you apply it, and it can impact you if you apply it. And it's brought me all three of those as well. We got a visitor coming. What's up, buddy? Oh, you supporting me, huh? Supporting me's. So, oh, he's back. You know you've changed reality when others can participate in that change. Okay? And you truly understand something when you can provide the awareness to somebody else to make that same choice. All right. So understanding your main thing. Let's get to it. So, what is the number one reason for living your life? That's the question. Why? It's the number one reason for living your life. What's your main thing? The main thing does not change much. When you set your main thing in life, it doesn't change much, but the road to get there does. Why? Because the order that we set it out to go, it never goes like that. There's always chaos. The destination doesn't change, the road there will. So the why, your why, is what anchors you to that which directs you towards your main thing. The work that you have in life, everything about life, this is what it comes down to. The work is to discover what the work is. And then with all of your heart, give yourself to it. What is your main thing that you're going after? Discover what that is. And once you discover what that is, you'll be like, okay, here's all the work that I have to do to achieve that. So you discover what is that work. Okay, I want to build a business. I'm gonna have to do this, and this. Great. Now give your all to it. Meaningless life versus meaningful life. We've talked about that. You want to have a meaningless life? Then the thing you pick, make it be meaningless. You want to have a meaningful life? Your main thing should be meaningful. So then what you're doing is what? It's meaningful. So, what is my main thing? Let me help you. Let me help you understand what your main thing is. It is very, very simple. You already know. You already know. As I've made this presentation, you've probably had thoughts about it. Get that booty out of here, boy. No one wants to see that. He's for sure going to jump back up here, but that's okay. You already know what your main thing is. I don't know it. How can I help you get it? I don't know what's important to you. How can you make the world a better place for yourself and everyone around you? I don't know. I can only tell you what it is for me, but you already know. But I will help you. So, what is my main thing? I will help guide you. It's anything that brings glory to God. What does God want? Because it's not about what you want. It's about what God wants to do through you, which actually, at your spiritual level, down to your spirit, is what you want. You are just trying to figure out what the earthly version of you wants, and you think that's your purpose. It's like, no, that's you. That's your human mind. That's your ego. What you're trying to do, let me remove the word trying. That's a failure word. What you should be doing is putting that to the side, connecting to the source, which is the ultimate why, which you can judge the quality of your life on. And that's one of the five things. Connect to the source and say, okay, God wants reality to be better for me and for everyone around me. I am supposed to be abundant internally and externally. and everyone matters, and I'm supposed to make this world better for myself and everybody. God, how do you want me to do that? That's it. Everything I just did, that's all you need to do. Sit with that. That's all you need. That is your main thing. What God tells you to do is your main thing. Must bring you joy. You must share it with others. It's simply improving reality for yourself and other people. Simply put, your job is to build something good and share it with others. There's no right or wrong, except it must be of God, meaning it must be good. It must make reality better for you. It must make reality better for everybody else. It must bring you joy. That's it. It's that simple. Build something good. Share it with other people. God has already determined what is good. Your choice in this moment of your life is what can you build that will impact you and other people's the most right now, given your current capabilities. I'm not going to make my main thing right now at 24 years old to, you know, raise a quadruple trillion dollars, for no, I mean, that would almost just be a distraction because that would just be too big of a goal. With my current capabilities, my current financial situation, with where I'm at right now, the most amount of impact that I feel I can make is building this company that I'm building. It's providing a place where people can actually build financial freedom. That may change over time. As my abilities increase, I will ask God, and if God ever says, "Hey, you can actually do more," amazing, I will. But right now, that is the best that is what I can do. And that is one of my main things is to truly build financial freedom for myself and everyone around me. That's one of my main things. My other main thing right now is to build a beautiful, divine union with my partner and to eventually raise children and to build a family. And so everything that I do is based around those two things. It is to pour into my relationship. It is to build that relationship, to show up as the best version of me in that relationship, to work on myself in that relationship, to be everything for my partner in that relationship. And eventually, I see that that will eventually turn into being a father and a dad. Well, not and, but both. But raising a family with my partner and building this business to build financial freedom for myself and for everyone around me. Those are my two main things right now. And anything that does not get me closer towards those main things, it's a distraction. Now, I fall victim to distractions all the time. I do. Just because you have awareness of the path doesn't mean you don't ever choose not to be on the path. Sometimes you consciously choose not to be on the path, right? Watching a movie, it's like, not really on the path, but I'm aware of it. I know it's a distraction. I want to watch the movie, you know? But you have to have the awareness of your choices. And when you have awareness of choices, you can make better actions. So, what is your main thing? And don't let anything get in the way of it. So I'd like to finish this off. That was super high level, like very high level how to approach your life, how to make decisions, how to make choices, how to not be distracted, the influences that are with you, against you, etc. I'd like to finish off with very practical, just very, practical things to implement today that you can use on this narrow path that really, really make a difference. And every single one of these you've already heard, you're probably just not doing it because you don't value it. They are so important. And these are the 10 things that I do that are extremely important to you living the best life possible with the most joy, the most success, and the most success. Joy, did I say that? Joy, success, and fulfillment. I like those three words. So, number one, pause to reflect or discover what really matters. There is two ways to do this. There is contemplation, which we talked about, which would be to sit still and to think, active in the mind, thinking through different things, right? And there's Zen meditation, which is not doing anything. It's actually silence, silencing the mind, right? The mind is very, very active. So you sit. And anytime that a thought arises, you start thinking about something, your attention starts going on a thought, you just let the thought go by. It's kind of like traffic. It's like you start just seeing the thoughts. You start seeing the cars go by. And you just go, oh, there's a thought. Oh, there's a thought. Oh, thinking about my girlfriend. Oh, thinking about my cat. Oh, I'm kind of hungry. Oh, honestly, here's a really good idea for me. It's just watching and just being like, interesting. And eventually, your mind quiets and all those thoughts aren't going on. And when that happens, that is when you can really, really, really get clarity. Because now, when you're seeking an answer for something, you can truly hear if God's talking to you. Because your brain isn't going with all these thoughts. And then sometimes we think our own thoughts are God talking to us, but it's really just our human mind tricking us, or a demon putting a thought in our mind thinking that it's us, but it's really, or thinking it's God, but it's not God actually speaking to us. Another little trick is sighing. So a good sigh is actually very good for the nervous system. So like, completely relaxes your body. If you just take a deep breath in, I do this all the time throughout the day, just you just feel so much better. It's scientifically proven to relax your nervous system. The path to really knowing yourself is through stillness. So you need to contemplate, you need to think things through, but you also need silence. You need Zen meditation where you actually quiet the mind. That's how you can actually interact with yourself, get guidance from God. That is the time. There is a quote, I'm not sure if this is from Buddha or who's this from, but everybody has purpose. You just have to be quiet enough to discover it. You see, the body and mind are very tricky. They always have needs and demands going on and impulses and things they want and want to do, and they're always communicating in our brain. And if we never shut off that thinking with Zen meditation, you don't have the ability to discover yourself, to discover God, to discover what it is that God actually wants in your life. It's like if God is a red McLaren on the highway and you never remove all the other cars from the highway, it's in bumper to bumper traffic, you're never going to see it, right? You must remove the other cars and be like, oh, there it is. There's the McLaren. I see it. Yeah, right there. So when you remove all the thoughts from your brain and you just go, God, speak to me. When it's a thought of yourself, you're like, oh, that's a thought for me. And when it's God, you're like, oh my gosh, it's an inner knowing. You know instantly, like, ah, there it is. To harmonize the body and spirit. I will say out loud the words that I want to experience. So I'll go into the mirror. And I will just say, peace, 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 peace. And what I am doing is I am connecting my spirit and my body. When you verbalize a word like peace or trust, trust, forgive, 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 any word you want, you are connecting your spirit to your body, which overrides the body, and eventually you actually drop into that feeling. Try that. It really, really works, but you must allow it. It's not a magical pill, it's something you do. You go, joy, joy, joy. And when you verbalize it, it gives your body something to do. Experience joy, be joyful. It is very powerful. Three, tend to your to-do list. Okay. You should have a journal of some sort and a to-do list. You should have all the activities that you are doing that you need to do, and it should be ranked in order of priority, right? So, for my business, I have, you know, 10 or so different tasks that I need to get done. So when I go to bed every single night, I go, okay, did this, did this, did this. Okay, I wasn't able to get to that, wasn't able to get to that. Don't really need to do that anymore, actually. Someone else handled that. And then I go ahead and write, okay, tomorrow, here's my 6 tasks. Here's the priority, priority, priority. And then I also have a personal. So I have my business and I have a personal. So for me, I have get Texas registration and license. Great. I need to register my car and I need to get a new driver's license. Cool. There. Build this presentation. That was there as well. Taxes. I need to go through some tax stuff. I'm investing in this trading software, get that set up. It's like I have these other things that are there and they're ranked in priority. So every single day I wake up, I'm clear on everything I need to do. I'm not like, oh man, I have so much to do. And then, my friend calls me and I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually really behind. Oh my gosh, I need to do this. And, then someone on my team calls me and I'm like, oh yeah, actually, I can't help you. Oh my gosh. It eliminates clutter in the mind. And when you have clarity, it's very easy. You wake up and you're peaceful. You're like, okay, I know exactly what I need to do today. And then you check your list, you cancel, you reprioritize, and you adjust everything every night before bed. And this is scientifically proven to help your sleep. It shuts your mind off, it puts you at ease, you feel more complete for the day, and it quiets your mind. Very, very important to have a to-do list. Game changer. Set an intention for the day, right? You've all heard where attention goes, energy flows, right? Well, it's true. When you wake up, you must set an intention for your day. You must say, hey, today I am going to experience joy. I am going to experience love. You're going into a big meeting. I am going to experience um, confidence today. Great. You're going to be confident. That's the intention for the day, right? And you're always taking daily action to move towards your main thing, right? My intention is to get everything handled, my taxes today, do it with ease, with grace, and for gratitude for the money that I've been able to make. Bam, now go get your taxes done. Think about the energy that now you're going into that task with, which you could have easily just been like, taxes, oh my gosh. But now you set an intention, now you're grounded, now you have purpose behind doing it. Intention is important. Keep things clean and organized, okay? Clutter is just a result of postponed decisions and actions. Keep your home clean. Keep your laptop files, your digital files organized. Delete anything that needs to be deleted. Go through your camera roll, delete any pictures, videos that are just duplicates or don't need to be there. Keep everything organized. Your environment is a reflection of your mind. If it's clean, it means your mind is actually clean and organized. They have done studies on that. Keep everything clean and organized. 6, unplug and know your limits. there is a analogy or a story. I forget it's like a Greek mythology story, but I forget his name. But basically, he is super strong and he is committed to rolling a boulder up a mountain. Except eventually, every time he gets maybe 2 days in or 3 days in, whatever his physical capabilities in, and then the boulder falls right back down the mountain. Then he gets up again. I'm so committed. And he pushes it up the mountain, and then he gets, 4 days in, and then it rolls down the mountain. And he does it again, he gets it again, and then it rolls down the mountain again. The point of the story is to showcase that there is physical limitations on what you can do. So, do not work 24 hours in a day. Do not sleep for 5 hours a day, right? Like, know your limits, know when to unplug, know when enough work is enough work for the day, know when you've reached your cap, know when your brain's not working anymore, know when you need to eat, know when you need to get out and get some sunlight, know your limits and unplug. This whole, a lot of this talk has been about not being distracted, but at the same time, have discernment, have awareness and wisdom when you are tapped. I need a little bit more fuel. I need to go to the gas station. I need to go get some sunlight. I need to eat a meal, right? Eating a meal doesn't have to be a distraction if it's to refuel you, right? So know your limits. Don't be the guy who rolls a boulder up a mountain and then just has to start over every day. It's like you're not getting anywhere. Okay. Stop trying to keep up in the digital world. This is something I've been really working on. And when I was at one of these events recently, this was one of the big things I was like, fuck. All right, I need to get better at this. Do not graze social media. You should never get on to Instagram or TikTok and just scroll. Why? Why shouldn't you do that? Well, first of all, watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. The platforms are literally there to hack your brain. Literally hack your brain to get you to be addicted. It is just like the casinos. They use same psychology of a slot machine. It is actually crazy if you watch that movie or documentary. You will be like, oh my gosh, that is insane. The people that have built the social media platforms, they can't even have the discernment to not do it. They can't even not be addicted to it. It's too addicting. So you must reject grazing social media. Why? It's because the influences that it's going to give you. Never let somebody else tell you what you should think about the world. That is a distraction. If you're going on social media and you don't have a purpose behind learning something specific, you're wasting your time. If you're going on there and just scrolling, you're like, oh my gosh, aliens are real. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Oh, well, yeah, I should invest my money into that. Oh my gosh, that's super cool. Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah, my relationship is kind of like that. Oh, he is a piece of shit. Oh, and it's like you're just getting all these influences that you didn't ask for. And you know what they're doing? It's an AI that just basically has data on every single thing about your life. It knows if you're making a lot of money. It knows if you're in a good part of your relationship, a bad part of your relationship, and it feeds you more content to keep you on the platform. If your relationship's going really well, you know what it does? It feeds you content about how good relationships are and how good your relationship is and how happy you are. Why? Because that's what you want to see more of. When your relationship's going really, really bad, you know what the AI does? It sends you more content about why your relationship's going really, really bad. And oh my gosh, fuck him. And oh my gosh, you need to leave him. And oh my gosh, have some self-respect, leave, whatever. Because that's what keeps you on the platform longer. Because that's what's getting and hacking your brain to want to look at the content. It's hacking your emotions. It's hacking your dopamine system. It's hacking you. So, do not scroll social media. The only time you should get on social media is if you're like, okay, I need to learn how to invest in real estate. That's part of my purpose of building financial freedom. Okay, great. I'm going to find a content creator on here and I'm going to study his work and his content. Great, great use of social media. Not if you are just using it as a distraction of entertainment. that is a waste of your time. And not only that, you are just having all these beliefs thrown at you without you having the time to contemplate, to decide if they are serving you. You may think, oh, no, 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 I do that. That's why I scroll or don't scroll. No, it's getting into your subconscious, and you are now perceiving the world through whatever belief system that this person has communicated. You do not want to unconsciously have someone be an authority over you where you are now listening to them teach you something about the world or life without you choosing them as your teacher. That is how you get fucked. That is how you get fucked up. Turn your notifications off. The notifications are what keeps you on the platform. Turn them off. You don't need to see every time someone sends you a like, a comment, a direct message. You don't need notifications. Turn them off. Social media is not serving you unless it has a purpose. If it is just entertainment, guess what? It's not serving you. It's a distraction. And it causes a ton of mental health problems. It literally brain fucks you. Watch The Social Dilemma and you will see everything that I'm saying. I'm saying this so intensely because I'm not kidding. I don't think you understand the severity of scrolling on social media. You know, I've been told that for a long time, and I knew it inherently, but I was like, whatever. I now fully understand how incredibly detrimental it is. Stop. It is the biggest way that people do not make the right choices in their life. Why? Because every free moment, instead of, hmm, you're in line at for the bathroom or something, scroll. Instead of, I have a meeting today. Um, how do I want to show up for that? Have I been showing up in the way I want to in my meetings? What about my relationship? What can I do better in my relationship? How can I show up better? Do you know how much more valuable it is for you to sit there and think, contemplate, think about things in your life? You're bored, you don't know what to do. You go, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. Instead of pulling out your phone, go, what do we want to think about? What about what about our gym routine? Is that the best gym routine to be doing? Hmm. You know what? There's that one guy on social media. You know what? Let me just pull out. Let me just see what his workout routine is. Great. Now pull out social media, look at it, but now turn it off and be like, okay, I'm gonna implement that into my health routine. Great. What about food? And you're thinking, you're contemplating, you're improving your life, you're getting discernment, you're having more awareness about the choices that you have instead of, I'm bored. Oh wow, aliens. Oh wow, that's funny. Oh, that's so sad. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, only $50. Oh, yeah. Waste of time, distraction, getting influences that you didn't choose. You're letting a computer system hack you for your attention on what they know will be. They don't, dude, the AI doesn't care if it's good or bad for your life. It doesn't care. It's neutral. All it cares about is what will keep you on the platform longer, even if that's false information or correct information. It literally is all opinions, beliefs. It's all people that are authorities that are getting put into your face because the AI goes, okay, based on your every single data point of your life, this is what will most likely keep you on the platform longer. And the AI only gets better. It's only going to get harder to get off of social media. So just do it and watch The Social Dilemma, and this will change everything for you. Okay, stop oversharing. Good things become negative when not done with proper discernment. What do I mean by that? Well, let's see. Do I want to give that example? No, not really. Um, no, I don't want to give that example. That's a little too much. But okay, here you go. A gun. Okay. A gun can be a good thing, right? If we are going to war with another country and we need to protect our country, a gun would be a good thing, right? If you have an intruder and someone comes in, it's good to have a gun, right? That's a good thing to protect your family, right? If there was a school shooter and you had a gun and you could shoot the school shooter to avoid, killing other people, that's good. However, If that gun is not used with proper discernment and someone takes that gun and goes shoots up a school, then that becomes negative, right? So good things can become negative when not done with proper discernment. Okay. Talking to a friend is a good thing. Talking about your life, sharing with them. Um, but if you're sharing with them something that is not actually helping you or them in any way, it's not bringing you or them more joy, it's actually a distraction. Friends are good, but friends can also be a distraction, right? So if you are, oh, well, yeah, I'm going with my friends to the bar, we need to catch up. That's a distraction, most likely. You don't need to go to the bar and, get drunk and talk with them to catch up with them, right? So don't overshare. There's definitely people I've met where all they do is, oh, you just want to fill you in this, and this. Oh, you talk to your sister, your mom, your aunt, your, this. So, oh yeah, here's what I'm doing today. I'm doing this. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, let's do that. Oversharing. Now connection has become a distraction. So only share something with someone if it's going to connect you with them, or if it's going to brighten their day. The other thing is don't post on social media if you're not making a living from it. Why? For what? Oh, just sharing my lunch. It's healthy. What? Who cares? Why? That is a distraction to you. Why are you wasting energy on that? Go get your main thing done. Now, if you're making a living from social media, I recruit people for my company from social media. Different. I would can say I'm making a living from it. But if you're just a random dude and just working a normal job and you're posting about your political beliefs and you're posting about this and that and what you eat and stuff, it's like, dude, stop. Like that's not good for you. That is a distraction. You are oversharing. Don't call up your friend and talk to him for 3 hours just telling him about what your life is doing and what it's about. Stop that. Have a conversation with them, connect with them, brighten their day, and get back to your life. Number 8, take responsibility and be accountable. 80% of success is literally just showing up. Okay, if you want to become a race car driver, what you need to do, you need to be around race cars. You need to go to races. You need to take classes on how to drive a race car. You need to go where the race car drivers hang out. You need to go, race a car. You need to, be where race cars are. You need to show up. If you just sit in your bedroom and you're like, I want to be a race car driver one day, you know, you're never going to be a race car driver. You need to show up in the places. So take responsibility. I'd like to be a race car driver, be accountable, and go show up, right? That applies to anything. Now, that's 80% of it. Ownership is solution mode. Avoiding responsibility is spectator mode. Well, I'm going to see how this goes. I'd like to be a race car driver, but I'm going to see if I can become a race car driver. Versus ownership is I'm going to be a race car driver. Any setbacks that I receive on this journey, I will find a solution and I will keep going because I'm going to be a race car driver. Very, very different mindsets. And it's not just like this fake belief that like, oh, it's done, right? Like in manifestation, they're like, you must know it's already received, it's done. It's like, yes, it's done because I know I'm not going to give up. That's how the certainty actually plays out because just being like it's done doesn't actually change reality. What changes reality is going, it's done because I will not give up. No matter what problem comes my way, I will find a solution. That's ownership. If you avoid the responsibility, you go, oh yeah, I'm probably not gonna be a race car driver. It's hard. There's a lot of stuff you need to do, a lot of lessons. Oh yeah, I'm not in the cliques. I don't really know any of that. Yeah, to get into the big leagues, you need a spectator mode. Nope. Okay, great. Problem. I need to know some of the people that know some of the race car drivers. I need to. Okay, great. Figured out. Solution mode. Great. Where do they hang out? What's their email? Can I send them an email? Something send them a message on Instagram. Hey, love to, grab lunch with you sometime. Hey, this, that. Solution mode. So take responsibility and be accountable for your life. Number 9, take care of yourself. Self-care is basically things you cannot delegate, that the self must give to, self and others. Self-care would also be giving your presence to other people, your love, be service, right? Because that is something you can't outsource. Can't outsource your love. If you're in a relationship, you can't outsource your love. You can't be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have my assistant love you. You know what I mean? Like you can't outsource that. It's a little weird. I know what you mean, but you also get the point. You can't outsource your presence, your love, in service. You can't do that. Self-care for the self, your sleep. Can't outsource your sleep. Can't have your assistant sleep for you. Your nutrition, you can't have, I mean, I guess you kind of could, but you can have someone cook for you, but you can't have them eat it for you, right? To meditate and to silence the mind, only you can do that. Hygiene, I guess you could kind of outsource that, but you still have to go get the haircut. You still have to go brush your teeth. I mean, maybe have someone else brush for you, but you still have to get them to do it. It's still your responsibility. And so service to self and others is what self-care is. So take care of yourself, you know? Make sure you get sleep, eat right, meditate, take care of yourself, look good, get a haircut. Like take care of yourself and, give your presents to people, love people, serve other people. Like take care of the self. And last but not least, you must practice gratitude. I know it's simple, but it's literally gratitude's just paying attention to what you already have. And if you don't pay attention to what you have, you'll never have enough. Oh, right? Simple, but pretty powerful statement right there. Without gratitude, you will never have enough, right? So it's not even a matter of if you have gratitude or not, it's to what degree. I could be a billionaire with no gratitude and I'd be miserable. But I could also be a minimum wage person with tons of gratitude and be happier. Now, the billionaire might have more he could be grateful for, but he's not practicing it. Gratitude is a practice. It's not something you get reminded of once a week when you go to church. You go, oh, yeah, I'm grateful. No, it's something you embody every single moment of every day. And so, one non negotiable for you is every single morning, first thing you should do is just list the things you're grateful for. I get up out of bed, I immediately, my default setting kicks in. I'm tired, this, that. And I go, I'm grateful I'm alive. I'm grateful I have the awareness of choice. I'm grateful that I have this comfy ass bed that makes it really hard to get out of. Grateful for this air conditioning and it's so cold in here and I love it. I'm grateful for this apartment. I'm grateful I'm alive. I just start listing. And guess what? All of a sudden, I'm like, man, I'm so excited to be alive. Let's go. And then I set my intention for the day. And then I look at my to-do list and I go, bam, let's go. And I'm aligned on my main thing. And here we go. I'm taking life by the horns. That is the narrow path, my friends. So, a lot there, okay? Just to go back real quick. I gave you 14 keys to give you greater understanding to navigate your life. I gave you some understandings of some of the influences working against you. Gave you some understandings of the influences working with you. I gave you the blueprint for how to analyze the quality of your life. And I helped you learn what your main thing is. So I have delivered on the 5 things that I told you I would deliver on. And my friends, this is the narrow path. What that means is it is hard. This is the single hardest path that you can embark on in your life. And the only way you walk this path is of your own free will. That's it. You must choose this path because, my friends, all we have is choices to make it better or make it worse, right? So now that you have this information, it means nothing to you. Nothing to you. It will change nothing if you don't apply it. So now that you have the awareness, where do you have wisdom but not the wisdom to do it? Information is pointless. Awareness allows for choice. Wisdom is discernment. Now you have the discernment to look at things and say, oh, I have a choice in this situation. What action do I want to take? Is it making things better or making it worse? Right? So now that you have the ability to discern, you must actually do it. That's why information is useless. So the narrow path is the narrow path because it must come from you. You must choose it. This is great information, but you must choose it. You must make that choice in every single moment. And guess what? The choices that matter are the hard ones. Especially, I mean, I'm 24. Think about this. I just learned, am teaching this. Let's just say I learned it today. Okay, well, I've had 23 and 11 out of 12 months, call it 23 years of not choosing this path, of not having the awareness to choose these different paths, or just unconsciously choosing the wrong choices. And now you're just going to listen to one presentation. It's just going to be easy. And oh my gosh, my life's going to get so much better. I'm just going to make all the right choices. No, you are going to have this at the front of your mind for the next week. And then you might forget about it. And then you'll be like, oh, shoot. Oh my gosh, that's why I've been feeling so stressed and anxious. Oh my gosh, let me come back to that. Oh, choices, discernment. Ah, okay. And now you'll start making better choices. But the only thing you must do today is make better choices. That's it. Wisdom, discernment. Look at the choices you have. Say, okay, is this choice of God? Is it of not God? Okay, is it making me better? Is it making me worse? Is it good for everybody? It's not good. Okay, well, okay. No, it's hard. I'm going to make this choice and I'm going to follow with the action of that choice. That is the narrow path. And it's hard. It's hard. Trust me, it's hard. And you will make tons of mistakes. And sometimes you will kick yourself in the head and be like, why in the world did I make that choice? Because there's a lot of influences working against you. Your own body, your own mind, the devil, demons, evil. There's so much working against you. So much. And so try not to beat yourself up when you do make mistakes, because I'm warning you, you will. But do your best to stay on the path. And as a fellow as a fellow family member of yours, spirit family, on this path, I am here to support. If you feel like you've fallen off the path and you would like some help, I would love to help you. Would love to support. I am not perfect. Maybe you're a human being who's witnessed me fall off my path, and for that, I am sorry. I did not mean to. I did not mean to make that choice. I did not use my awareness properly in that moment. If you fail to utilize awareness, it's what? One of three things, right? Number one, didn't understand the law of cause and effect. I'm sorry if I did not have awareness, the law of cause and effect in that choice. Number two, I was not able to redirect my emotions, and I chose the impulsive, instant gratification choice instead of choosing the discipline choice to prolong progression. Or number three, I wasn't conscious or aligned with my main thing. And if that is you, I am sorry. And I ask that you forgive me. And just like I will forgive all of you if you ever fall off your path with me, because we are all human. And guess what? No matter what you do as a human being, I will always love you. You could kill me and I would still love you because that's what Jesus would do. And that is the way that we are following. That is the narrow path, the path of love, the choice to love even in the darkest of moments. Because that's what God is. That's what God would do. That is what is good, and that is the light. And I reject evil. I will not choose evil, no matter what you do to me. I still love you. That you cannot lose. You cannot take away my choice to love you, because I always will. So, I love you. If you have listened to this far, it's 3 hours and 20 minutes of training. This will change your life if you choose. Good luck on the journey. Hopefully, our characters will meet up in the real world someday. And if there's anything I can do to support you, please reach out to me. Message me on Instagram, text me, however you can reach me. I would love to support you in any way that I can because this path is hard and I'm on the path as well. And if there's any way you'd like to support me, I would love that because it's hard. It's a hard path, but I have chosen this path, and hopefully you have now chosen this path. I love you. You got this, and I will talk to you very soon. Much love.